he has a mullet.
Oh, I did. Okay, now I need to watch it.
Yeah.
I thought it was the same video.
I mean, it's him dancing.
I had seen him dancing, and he had like 1980s blonde and big hair, and he was he was groping.
Oh yeah. You guys are full on rapist.
Yeah.
No, yeah. There's
Not a philanthropist.
no, not at all.
Not
He's
hardly.
the opposite of a philanthropist, actually. As the Polish
You
construction
only grab him by
workers.
the pussy with permission. Okay.
Some nice, hot, consensual. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kooks, Cranks, and Iconoclast. I'm your host, Michael Lett. Usually go by Mike. And with me are my co-hosts and the men that I'm fairly certain drugged me and filmed deep web content. And they go by the names of
Real deep.
We were gentle. Deeper and deeper. Way down. I'm Spencer Hash Brown Lowry.
I'm just Chris Wells tonight. I think. I don't know.
2 eggs on a nail.
So you're taking that approach with it this time.
I guess so. I don't know.
You're taking the being yourself approach.
Well, oh goddamn! But I'm supposed to be the heel. I guess I am kind of the heel anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. Don't break
Mustard
kayfabe.
tits Wells. Shark bait Wells.
As long as you're not Jump the Shark, Wells. Today's episode, we're going to work a little frontier medicine and get into some hobo talk. And after that, we're going to discuss the United States' one and only emperor.
I'm going to declare myself emperor.
Well, that's the beauty of it, is that anyone can do it. We're discussing Joshua Abraham Norton the First, Emperor of America, Protector of Mexico,
All around
King of the
good guy.
Hobos. Yeah, and actually, I was saying, I think this is one of the first, good people we've covered.
This story was incredibly romantic to me. I loved it.
I'm trying to hate on him a little bit, but it is kind of fun. Like, he's fun.
The haterade well runs dry when you're thinking about the Norton.
I'll get into my hate late.
But, as always, before that, we're going to do a little What's Weird this week. Who'd like to go first?
Clockwise. Spencer.
All right.
Cockwise.
I'm going to start mine off with a
It's usually cockwise with Spencer.
cocksure and cockwise. That's right. Let's see. I wrote a limerick to head my weird this week. Here we go. She embarked on a journey to Rome, leaving her kids in their home. With a heart light and free, she set off with glee, while her little ones flourished alone. The official headline is Texas mom went on cruise, left her young kids home alone, going to jail.
Oh yeah, she looks like you.
Yep, it's a Texas mom from the Houston area.
Yeah.
And
Best
says,
eyelashes in county.
Yeah.
she apparently left her 6 and 8-year-old children alone in her house, her apartment.
Well, they watch each other.
Yeah, the big ones watch the little ones.
Yeah, but I mean these days that's
No, that's
But there's another slightly redeeming. I'm still not on her side, but neighbors called in. They saw her leave, with baggage. 9 days later, she still hasn't arrived.
That's a long fucking vacation.
Sounds like she left her baggage at home.
Yeah, that was probably in Alaska.
That was a good one.
What do you think?
She had a dude lined up in another city. And, oh wait, no, it does say vacation cruise. I'm looking at the.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't say who she went with,
See,
but she left her
we
kids.
did need the screen with the articles on it. This is new.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Gotta do everything.
Bingle bangle.
But so 6 or 8, 9 days, our neighbors finally called in because they noticed that there was no parents, and these kids were left alone. There's food trash all over the place. They'd torn up the place, as a 6 and 8-year-old would be wont to do. Reeked of urine. She said, "Oh, it's okay because we had a webcam set up, so she could." In her defense, I mean, it's indefensible what she did, but, she was like, well, I'll talk to him on
defense is indefensible.
I'll talk to him on the Ring camera, you see, and everything will be fine. But,
I see what you're doing.
yeah, so she's getting charged $25,000 bail, egregious offense. I mean, this day and age,
outrageous.
If this was 1896 or something like that, this wouldn't have been a problem. But,
No, yeah, those kids would
nowadays,
already know how to.
in this wacky world we live in.
Yeah.
So she's getting in trouble for that.
I
Which is
have-
why parents should teach their kids to run a trot line, Get a buck.
Yeah, I
all
mean,
I
that
know a
stuff.
man I knew once. He said, "Don't have your second kid until the first one is old enough to make a peanut butter sandwich."
That's good.
You know,
that is pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's not bad.
A lot of people. I mean, in the olden days, people did that kind of stuff, and the kids worked the coal mines and whatnot. I don't know. There's the cool old school like 1920s or 30s photo that circulates that I see online a lot of this little tiny kid. He's probably like 5 years old in a coal miner's outfit, smoking a cigarette, and it's like that.
I think
kid
I've seen that picture.
already got a fucking mortgage and 2 ex-wives.
And the one I've seen, you've probably seen the picture too of the kid where they used to ship their kids on like freight trains, like they would mail them through the postal service.
Yeah.
Well,
They
this is
just
all
throw
very
it in a-
thematic to what we're talking about today.
Yeah. the rail tramps.
Rail.
You know?
Well, there's rail. There's
The romance of the rail.
also the, if you want to get conspiratorial, toward the Tartaria.
The orphan trains.
The orphan
Yeah.
trains.
I mean, those were real things.
That was a
There's
real thing.
Plenty of
But they-
nefarious trains.
but
yeah.
they-
I don't quite get how it ties into
Boy, trains,
Tartaria.
that's why there's so many country songs about trains, because trains were actually a little bit nefarious.
Well, yeah, and it was like
They were
the first cross country. The railroads were all fucking owned and operated, well, at the top by captains of industry who were Freemasons.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So that's my what's weird this week.
How do orphan trains fit into Tartaria?
Because the
Was it like they all
Did they
the
have
kids?
trains in the
it's
Tartaria days?
because of the mud flood wiped out a certain amount of people, and they needed these orphans from all over, and everybody was broke because of the mud flood.
We need more orphans.
So they just dispersed the country.
But the trains run on orphans.
The trains ran through the country, right, and picked up country because everybody, there was famine and all this shit, so they just rounded up all the children from the countryside as the railroads went through, put them on this train and shipped them to the cities to repopulate, rebuild in not in the grand manner as it, which is the whole Tartarian myth because
see
they
a
look
lot
at
of-
these photos from the goddamn Chicago World Fair, and there was really
Yeah.
cool looking buildings in pictures, but they were just made of fucking plaster. They weren't real fucking.
Purely decorative.
Yeah.
You know what?
Structural.
We're not on Tartaria today.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say I see a lot of
Stay tuned for our
Tartaria stuff.
Tartaria coverage.
We might eventually have to at least do like a little side piece on that.
I mean, it actually comes
If it's
up.
not already on your list,
It comes up like
A lot.
organically every so often.
more and more.
It mixes into more, like many of the.
I thought today's guy we're talking about, fucking Emperor Norton, would totally fucking have some kind of connection to it, and I actually looked up Emperor Norton Tartaria, but I didn't find anything.
Oh.
Nothing substantial.
No, it was in the 1900s, I believe, is when they, because it was the 1910 World Fair in Chicago. Was it 1910?
Yeah.
It was
H.H. Holmes.
That's the time of the Tartaria myth, supposedly. From what, but I've also seen a lot of different.
Yeah, it's a
that's
very
when they were talking about alien dirigibles and stuff, airships and stuff.
yeah, mystery airships. I mean, I don't know, mystery airships also plays into like secret space program and breakaway civilization, but
And
I just I don't know. I don't understand the whole Tartaria mud flood shit.
I
But,
mean, it's part of it. I don't really get the whole, like, it's like, oh, well, part of it is they have mentioned that there is the free energy was the biggest part of it.
That's
like,
right.
It's like they have taken all this from you. We were so grand. We had all this amazing technology that they have hidden from you. And after the mud flood, for some reason, they didn't bring it back because they, whoever they are, and I actually, honestly,
knocked
this
into the
one
Stone Age.
is not the Jews. Mostly. I mean, sometimes they mention the Jews, but
that's refreshing.
it's refreshing. But mostly it is just they, which is, the they.
Yeah.
The
Just
The royal they.
capital T they.
Yeah, them.
Unspecified.
Those people are hiding the fact that free energy, because they pointed out that most of the buildings had the big copper on top, and they're like, that was how they got
like
free
spires
energy.
and shit.
Yeah, spires. Yeah, because you know what, styles change.
Yeah,
that's the thing. People they're like, look at all this beautiful architecture, but at the same time, it's also.
I mean, if you go into like Fulcanelli and like cathedrals and ley lines and geomancy and shit like that, I mean, there's some of that, but I feel like Tartaria and Flat Earth and all this shit that's come out in the last several years is fucking psyop. Or like how Mandela effect is a fucking. I think it's just an excuse to rewrite history, basically.
Is it a psyop or is it a self-created psyop by the idiots?
Well, a psyop can be self-created.
I mean, well, it's on
self-fulfilling psyop.
It's a self-fulfilling psyop. Like these people,
like look at what we used to have. Let's all regress.
Like QAnon.
Yeah.
That it is. They are fulfilling their own fucking psyop. It wasn't created. They created it. Like assholes on the internet created QAnon, and it is their own psyop because they're not concentrating on the real problems because they are so infatuated with the fake ones.
Yeah, the fake one gives them an easy escape route.
It's very
well, that, and if you like say that all these political figures are doing this heinous shit, then you're looking at the fictional heinous shit when they're doing real heinous shit. That's it's nowhere near what they're saying, but like they're robbing you fucking blind, etc.
Well,
fuck her.
Yeah. Anyway, this lady left her kids at home.
I want my cruise.
She's no count.
You probably were child support. Oh no, it was tax season. You get that that tax bonus, bro. That
child tax credit times 2.
Dude, that shit's tight.
That's $4,000 right there.
Mo money, mo money.
Yeah, it's $2,000 per kid.
Are you kidding me? I got 5 this year.
No
yeah, that's why.
For one kid.
Yeah.
That's why you hear those stories.
Shark bait wells over here.
You hear all those stories about people like adopting, or they'll adopt like a whole gaggle of fucking kids and then get the fucking checks rolling.
And they'll use that to fund the household. Yeah.
No, my boy Do-Right.
No, they don't fund the household. They fund
Do-Right
themselves.
used to be like, bro,
usually
he's
what
like,
I
you got a job, I can put you on with some people. You can claim their kids. They have people that will just like let you claim their kids. You got to break them off half.
It's like kid sharing.
Yeah, it's kid sharing.
Kid tax credit sharing.
Yeah. They...
What do I have to do by the end of the day to get you into a new kid sharing?
Am I what's weird now?
Wazzy.
Cockwise.
All right.
Cockwise or
so
otherwise.
This was I skim articles, I skim books, I do a little bit of here and there.
Skimmer from way back.
I told the guys this is going to be the thing that gets me canceled. Because I'm just going to say it right now.
Oh, no.
Fucking hate
dogs.
Okay.
Woof, woof?
All right. The guys had to look
Bow
just
wow?
now when I said that because a noise shuddered.
Mhm.
That was my pet bearded dragon.
Oh, okay.
I am not a fucking dog person. I have a little animal in a aquarium.
I think could eat a chihuahua.
I don't think he eats roaches.
Pieces. Oh, no. Well, it's a big fucking lizard either way.
He's a big fucking lizard. But anyway, all right.
My lizard.
This politician woman, Kristi Noem, apparently has been pushing this story about how she had to kill a dog.
Goddamn right I killed a dog.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, apparently it happened 20 fucking years ago. But she's so down to earth that she likes to bring up how hard it was for her to kill this fucking dog that ruined a pheasant hunt and killed her neighbor's chicken.
Yeah, I commented how this is how Republicans are relating to the average Joe now.
Yeah,
telling stories about killing a dog.
Ruined my pheasant hunt.
Yeah, it ruined the pheasant hunt. And me, I'm just gonna tell you, I laughed. I laughed because I don't like dogs, and it's not really that I don't like dogs. I like country dogs, but
I was actually waiting for you to bring up how you don't like dogs because I was going to throw one word at you.
Critter. You were gonna say Critter.
Yeah,
I loved Critter. Critter was my dog. I trained that dog, and that dog was good.
See?
Yeah.
Everyone loves the smell of their own farts, don't they?
But at the same
everybody loves their own breed.
But at the same time,
Critter was a good dog. Though.
Critter was a good dog.
Good girl.
Because I trained her. Like she was good. But people don't train their fucking dogs anymore.
You got a pet. You got a responsibility. You get your ass out there and you find that fucking dog.
Anyway, but also having a dog, live in a house. Dogs belong outside. That Critter let me know that people that have dogs indoors are wrong. Because a dog, Critter, you remember how much Critter would just run?
Yeah.
Critter would run. And
She had a lot
run
of energy.
and run and run and maul every other dog that she met. And I loved that dog. It was a pit bull blue heeler mix. It was a very nice dog.
Oh, blue heeler. The only dog that ever bit me in my life was a blue heeler.
Yeah, they bite.
They're biters.
Oh, man,
yeah.
I've had
She was not a bite, but she would maul dogs. Anyway, so Kristi Noem, a Republican, and she was a South Dakota governor and possible Trump running mate, but since this, they're like, no, maybe not.
Trump doesn't want to attach himself to
I
anybody
had
that causes
Election in
problems.
November. Election in November.
I had never heard of this woman, but it popped up on the social media. I'm like, who is this woman? I have to look her out because they're. Did I say lick her out?
Yeah, kindred spirit, yeah.
But we'll have to go back to the
Fellow
tape.
dog hater.
Anyway,
Friend of yours?
she looks like she's had some work done and she's got the drawn-on eyebrows. Anyway, apparently 20 years ago, this woman shot a dog and she just keeps bringing it up. She had a dog. It was a 14-month-old dog, and she had it. She paid for it to go to trainers. She tried to train it, and it ruined a pheasant hunt, killed her neighbor's chicken, so she shot that motherfucker. And then you know what she did the same day? She shot a fucking stinking ass goat. And what they make a note of in this article is that it was a non-castrated goat.
She's trigger happy.
Oh yeah, well I mean, fuck, you kill one animal, you're like,
It sounds like she also has never.
That's a spree killing.
It sounds like she doesn't have anything else in her life going other than this one fucking
a
incident
20-year-old time where she shot a dog
to relate to people, and this is how you know I can make tough decisions other than any other fucking thing that could have happened in her
I
life.
wouldn't shoot a dog unless I really had to.
Vote for me,
but I'd shoot a
dog
dog.
killer.
But you know that's the funny thing. Like it's like all the jokes in the gun community about the ATF and how they show up and they shoot your dog in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had a cousin. You remember my cousin? And that's how his preferred method of getting rid of dogs. He would take them out and shoot.
Yeah.
But you know,
Why? For legitimate reasons. Yes.
Well, if they bit the
Old
kid,
Yeller.
they bit the kid or something like that, or they chewed too much shit up. And his reasoning was, and it made sense to me, and it still makes sense to me. It's like you take them to the pound, they're gonna sit there for a couple fucking weeks because there's millions of dogs. Because people have all these stupid fucking dogs because they think they're fucking cute, and they shit everywhere, and they're like, I don't want this dog, and they turn them loose, and they end up at the fucking dog pound, sucking up my goddamn tax money. And anyway,
I don't think those places are funded by tax money.
They are funded by tax money, actually. The dog catcher
is
city fucking fund. That's the dog pound.
Municipal.
It's municipal.
That's Dachau for dogs.
Municipal. Anyway, and
they're piping in that Sarah McLachlan song.
so
all the
this
time.
dog has to sit. The dogs have to sit. A dog does it as unwanted. Somebody just turns it the fuck loose or drops it at the pound. Nobody adopts it within 2 weeks. They send it to the gas chamber. You know how much that cost? I don't know how much it costs, but it costs more than I like it to. So his reasoning, and I agree with this reasoning, was, you know what? You take the dog out to the country. You let the dog run. The dog's having a good time. You pop it in the fucking brain without it fucking knowing about it.
I didn't like that last part.
That's how me and my family execute dogs when they get old.
It's
instead
peaceful.
of taking them to a cold clinic table,
you take them to the cold clinic. They're
give 'em the
scared.
best
They
day,
don't
give 'em
know
steak.
what's going on. They're fucking unhappy. Like, I think shooting a dog in the brain in a field is way more sympathetic. You know what? Hey, when I get old,
It's more humane,
don't let me
yeah.
die in a hospital. Take me out to a field, shoot me in the fucking head, please.
When you get old,
Well, when I'm about to die.
we're gonna do it next week.
Give you
That's
the
never
old-
been my experience with dogs, but
Old Yeller shark bait Wellesley.
I'm an animal lover. I mean, I feed all the raccoons
I
in
love
the neighborhood.
animals. I love.
Chris,
All right,
Fuzzy's like
I
Saint
will
Patrick.
square it away and I will clean it up a little bit to not be completely fucking canceled. While you got. Oh, by the way, dog owners, you know what I call them? Pedophiles.
Son of Sam, Hitler, Richard Nixon.
You're saying PET?
Yeah,
Pedophiles?
Pet-O-File.
Pedophiles. You heard it here, folks.
Pet-O-Files. If you're a dog owner, you are a fucking pedophile.
Copyright Chris
Taking
Wells.
it back.
Yeah.
Shark bait Wellesley.
But anyway, I do like. But you people don't know how to train your fucking dogs. If I walk into your house, you know, and you don't put the dog somewhere else, and it comes up and it puts its nose. It's supposed to be man's best friend, not every man's best friend. You know, I don't want your dog to come sniff my dick,
Show
and
a little
fucking-
partiality.
and lick me and all that stuff. Good pet owners, like when I go to my dad's house when they had a dog, you know what they do? They put the fucking dog in another room before they even answer the door.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to handle fucking dogs. You put the dog outside, you put it in the bathroom, because not everybody wants to fucking pet your fucking dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I get it. I don't know.
Get the frick out of here.
Dogs are
Assholes. Because they're raised bad. Just like the kids today.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's
They're totally a
definitely a part of
reflection
it.
of their owners, too.
Yeah, exactly.
I love dogs. I love all animals, but I've always been more of a cat person because a dog.
Kitties.
Because a dog
Outside.
like needs more attention, and just like a cat, just like
It's a codependent, pathetic piece of shit.
Well, I
Who's the
wouldn't say
saint that cares for the saint of animals?
My aunt is
that's
kind
like
of the saint
you.
of animals, actually.
Mike has a cat. What's your cat got? That poor little thing.
AIDS.
AIDS.
Yeah, AIDS.
Well,
That's
cat
what it is.
AIDS.
One of my
Yeah.
last cats had AIDS. My cousin, she's got it. When I got locked up, took my cat with AIDS.
Yeah, I know he doesn't have long, but I'm trying to.
It's a reality
Hey,
shot.
Meeks,
for you.
as far as I know, I haven't talked to her.
Oh yeah, Meeks. That was the one.
You remember Meeks?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Meeks, as far as I know, is still alive. I don't know.
Did you know that he thought that all orange cats were female?
No. Who?
You.
No, it's tabbies, and they're all males. I think. There's some kind of cat that.
Nope.
There is some kind of cat that is like only one sex for one pattern. I can't remember what it is. I never told you about orange
That's
cats.
biologically impossible.
I could have swore that.
Wait a minute. Most orange cats are male. I've never seen a female orange cat.
Oh,
Maybe I'm mixing.
Oh.
You're mixing shit up. I think orange cats are mostly male,
no.
and tabby's mostly female. You know what?
No.
Send us an
You're
email
wrong
at
and you know you're
kooksandcranks@gmail.com to let us know about cats.
We're on Tartaria and
all kinds of
orange
shit.
Fucking
This is the flow.
Should we get to the fucking story?
Let's,
I got one more
Anyway,
thing here.
Dispense
All right.
with the ignorance.
This new favorite politician of mine fucking shot a fucking dog.
He's got my vote.
And a fucking goat.
Kindred spirits over here.
And I can't see, but she looks like she's probably got a set of nice fake tits. She's had works done. So
Just go ahead. And another thing.
yeah. Cancel me. I love the Republican lady's teeth.
Tetas.
I think she's got some great ideas.
No mames on the tetas.
The great idea is shooting dogs in the face. Anyway,
She's got two really great ideas.
if you want to give me your opinion about that, it's kooksandcranks@gmail.com. The way I saw it, because
It is funny in that she's using it to.
Yeah, she keeps bringing it up, and apparently I found several other articles that are like her people are like, stop fucking bringing up that you shot a dog 20 years ago, a dog and a goat in the same day.
I want to introduce my main campaign financer, Michael Vick. Okay.
Mike B. All right, hell yeah, we got a Mike. Nobody like.
I think it's our first football reference ever.
No, OJ, best
Oh,
running
yeah,
back
that's
of all time.
I don't even equate OJ with football anymore.
Slam dunk.
You know, the guy who did the really famous thing? Okay.
Yeah, a Heisman Trophy winner.
I got a story. What is this from? Corrections 1? I think it's like I think this is a
Corrections
website
department?
for like corrections. Yeah, corrections officers and like
Ooh,
crime
COs.
stories.
There's probably a dating app for COs.
I bet they're.
Yeah, it's called
God.
it's called working in a jail.
If they're not fucking
you're-
inmates, like
yeah.
seriously, I've been in some places, they be fucking, okay?
Oh yeah, you hear about it more and more.
Sell one, put the sheet down. Alabama man with meth caught breaking into jail through a hole in fence.
That's some good meth.
This man, I'm gonna save his name for last because, oh my
Is it a
god.
good name?
Yes. Was caught in the act of cutting the jail fence. Correction officers were waiting for him and chased him out through the hole.
Wrong way, wrong
Go
hole.
get out of here!
That's the
Moulton,
wrong
Alabama. A man is in the Lawrence County Jail after authorities say he cut a hole in the fence, or cut a hole into a fence around it in order to bring drugs inside. Mr. Kirk David Muckenfuss. I'm not making that up.
Muckenfuss.
That's a tight
Muckenfuss.
fucking name.
Fucking,
Muzz.
no wonder this guy ended up doing drugs. 43 of Somerville faces charges of promoting prison contraband, drug trafficking, criminal mischief, criminal trespass, burglary, possession of burglary tools, and attempting to elude police, according to court documents. Muckenfuss was
Throw a sodomy in there too.
arrested
You got the
Monday.
hat trick.
According to a complaint, Muckenfuss was caught in the act of cutting the jail fence. Correction officers were waiting for him and chased him out through the hole. A deputy took him into custody. On him, authorities found a bag with wire cutters and 32.5 grams of methamphetamine.
An ounce and an 8-ball?
Thank you for the drug math breakdown.
Probably started out as an ounce and a half. You know what I mean?
Investigators believe Investigators believe he planned to smuggle the meth in through a broken window in the jail. According to jail records, Muckenfuss is being held on a $1.578 million bond.
Crazy.
God damn.
I mean, they're
Muckenfuss.
using drones. They're mostly using drones to smuggle dope in.
That's perfect.
I heard
Well, but now actually most all the major real prisons put up drone busters outside. They have like
the net guns or
no,
the
it's
jammers?
signal
like Vinkman and Econ.
the whole there's signal jammers for cell phones because there's shitloads of cell
They
phones.
use
in prison.
heat weapons now for drones.
Yeah,
Like,
you could
cook some.
You could shoot them out of the sky literally with like a pulse rifle that fucking like. But they also have jammers and all kinds of other shit.
Yeah, they shoot like what is it? Glitter can be used as a fucking chaff device.
Oh yeah,
or whatever.
I guess, but
I would
Which is
throw
weird
off
because
infrared.
one of the major like maybe only glitter producers in the world, they sell like I can't remember
that
the
is funny
exact
because our
figure.
jets that we use have chaff, and it basically is kind of like.
It
Yeah.
throws off infrared tracing. Or
I
laser
think it's just
tracing.
little fragments of metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it throws off radar readings and shit like that. I can't remember the exact figure, but I think it's like the largest portion of the #1 glitter distributor in the world makes 75% of its profit selling to some customer that they refuse to name. So it's probably
I
the
fucking
United
hate
States
glitter.
Army.
It is banned in this house, but every now and then, kiddos smuggle some shit in.
That's the ultimate prank.
Oh my god, it's all geek.
Put it on the ceiling fan blades of someone's house.
I'm not-
when
well-
they turn on the fan, it just fucking.
You gotta, it doesn't have to do anything. It just tracks on the feet. She'll get a little bottle to do some arts and crafts, and that shit's all over the goddamn.
Every time we go to Cabaret Royale, we always come home
Oh,
crusted
yeah.
with
Yeah.
glitter.
Yeah.
PT's
Is Cabaret Royale?
PT's Bronze
Yeah,
Club.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They still got legs and
Legs and eggs.
Yeah.
Tits and grits.
Hey,
Yeah,
Cabaret Royale.
It's only $10 for the dinner, but
All right, Cabaret Royale owes us some money for fucking giving them a shout out on their
legs and eggs. They got like an omelet station, waffle station, all kinds of pastries
They've
and
been doing that
fruits.
shit for like at least 25
I
years.
wonder how much it costs now because it used to be $10 back when we were in our early 20s.
Inflation
Yeah.
and in Bidenomics, it's probably $25,000.
I bet they just have one of those machines now that squirts out the batter on the fucking arm like they have at the Motel 6.
What I think quality cuisine, I think strip club.
Hey, I've
Hey,
actually
if
heard
you've been
that.
to legs and eggs,
I've never
dude,
been, but I heard it's good.
steamer trays full of bacon,
Yeah, I
sausage
bet
links,
there's some steamer
patties.
trays.
I just remember like, you know, I went
Rodolfo,
for the
can you
food.
come out of the bathroom and clean up these steamer trays? I don't make enough money for this shit.
Yeah, well, yeah, but man,
No, there was that one guy we knew and his girlfriend danced there.
yeah, and we would go there to see her. Come for the legs, stay for the eggs.
Wait, are you talking about?
Cabaret Royale.
Which one are you actually going to come for, though?
Ooh,
Just depends on the timing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm trying to think of who you're talking.
gotta
I think I
load
know
up on
who
protein
you're
items.
talking about, but the guy that sucked.
Yeah, he did
Yeah,
suck. He
yeah.
did suck.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was gonna
He
do
was
a
nice to
thing
me.
about.
He was nice enough. He still kind of.
Yeah, he's just
Douchey.
douchey.
I saw one
Yeah.
of his bands on like Facebook.
There's some
Wow.
videos on YouTube
Oh, God,
I
they're
could show you.
terrible. Terrible.
You know.
What are all those bands metal bands that sucked before? You know, it's one of those.
Like new metal-ish type
It's
shit.
like new metal,
Yeah.
but
It's
newer,
new metal, but like
it's newer
with a
new
little
metal.
bit of fucking Nickelback mixed in.
Newer,
Oh,
yeah,
goody.
It's like new metal, like sung to a chick. You know, like sung,
Oh.
like to draw women.
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Wow. 2 parts cyanide for every 1 part
You got
that.
like a sexy
I'm in.
bass drummer without a shirt on. You know.
Ugh.
yeah. Getting every hot girl in Mesquite.
That's very accurate. Actually.
They're out there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into the finer points of.
Anyway,
Yeah, I was gonna do a story on that I found from Fox News, so take it with a whole ocean of fucking salt. But it was about the NYPD bitching about how there's a conspiracy behind the campus protest movement.
George Soros.
But then it turns into it gets too complicated, so maybe we'll talk about it down the road.
Yeah, that's something we'll have to establish as a.
Yeah, where we stand and how much of our audience we can
Let's
alienate.
know Mames on that for now.
Yeah.
And that's what's weird this week.
Yeah.
Today's subject Joshua Abraham Norton I, Emperor of America, Protector of Mexico, King of the Hobos, and Discordian Saint.
I did like the whole protector.
Yeah, it's totally
patron
empty
saint.
of meaning.
Yeah, it is. It's the whole thing. But the thing that kind of won me on this dude a little bit is like people liked him.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't
a pestilence or anything.
He wasn't a pest.
Yeah.
He fucking like actually everybody's like, you know what, this guy's pretty cool. He has some good thoughts.
Yeah.
Which is
generally accepted within San Francisco, other places too. But
and I will go ahead and do my second canceling. Not a big fan of homeless people.
Most people aren't.
Yeah, but I've been. That's the thing. I've been around.
They just
them.
bummed me out.
I've
Pun
been,
intended.
I've been around them. I've been locked up with them, and all of them. I've never met one that I'm like, oh, this guy's an actually cool dude. All of them were except you.
Yeah, I was about to say you took me in when I was homeless.
I took you in when you're home, but Spencer, that's the thing. That's the difference. Is that most homeless people, they're either so schizophrenic, in my personal experience,
Or some.
they have some kind of mental issue, and then there are people that are just fucking assholes, and that's the main thing I've seen is just they're people that are just assholes and have no like they have burnt every bridge in their fucking life that no family or friend will fucking take them in. But that wasn't the story with you, Spencer. You were down on your luck, and I took you the fuck in because I still know you're a good person. But most of the people on the streets have already burnt all those bridges, and nobody thinks they're a good person.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd also be cranky if you couldn't wash your asshole for fucking 2 weeks straight.
That's the thing. Spencer would go and stay at the shelter. Yep. There was a shelter that
when
was.
I wasn't staying with ladies. See, I was also in the poly circles at that point, so I'd have all my life on a backpack, and I'd go to a girl's house. I'd stay at the shelter maybe 3 nights a week. The rest of the night, I'd stay at one girl's house for like a one night, maybe 48 hours. Do my laundry, wash up and everything, so I don't have to take a group shower with a bunch of, poorly people.
Yeah.
And then when I didn't have a lady to stay with.
But you went to the shelter.
Oh yeah,
I dropped you off at the shelter before.
I utilized all their facilities.
Yeah, that's the thing. There are facilities for homeless people.
Yeah.
Shout out to the bridge.
They
downtown
do
Dallas.
not fucking use them because they're either completely
True
mentally
watchers.
insane or they're assholes and they're addicted to drugs.
This is why we need socialized healthcare, but it'll never fucking happen in this country.
No.
Just,
No money in it.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate doctors. I hate insurance people. I'm a hate. I'm a little bit of a hater.
Hail to the now.
And technically they're supposed to be called unhoused.
Oh yeah, they're unhoused now. Because homeless is offensive.
But you know what? I'm still calling them bums.
Well, that's because you can call
But
your
if you-
street corner your home.
But if you live everywhere, wouldn't you be home more? That's somewhat. That's a joke from one of our unnamed
Looked with
influences.
a swing and a miss.
But okay, this is what I was kind of. I think I meant to send this to you guys the other day in our text stream thing. The homeless, the bums,
Yes.
is the same problem I have with dogs.
Too lazy to work.
They accost you. They expect something from you because they're are not trained properly at all. So they expect something from you. It's like, I don't owe you shit. I don't owe you a pet.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
don't owe
don't-
you $1. Like, so I am, here I am. I am going to compare bums to dogs. Yes, I am. Cancel me. I don't give a shit. Pre-cancel me. Pre-cancel. I'm not even started yet. We only got,
Pre-cancel your
I'm
order.
gonna put you on layaway cancel here.
yeah, layaway cancel. But but really, it's like, I know you're fucking homeless. I know you want $1. Don't fucking cost me outside of 7-Eleven. I'm fucking working my ass off. I'm covered in goddamn grime and shit. I'm in there buying a hot dog for fucking lunch to make it through the fucking day. And you're gonna stop me in front of my fucking car to fucking ask me for money. Fuck you. That's how I feel about that.
I take mass transit, and I interact with quite a few people in
I hate
this
it.
demographic, we'll say. and yeah, they're I never
Assholes. They're assholes.
some, yeah. I just never got why people would ask for money from other people, well, like me at least, riding on the train, because you can tell just by looking at me that I don't have shit. So I never got that about it. Just like, hey, do you have any spare change? Like, do I look like I have
Yeah.
Do I look like I'm
on
doing
the
all right?
Fucking train.
I'm riding the train without a pass.
Yeah. I got a picture of someone else's pass I took in my phone. Anywho, let's set the scene. The late 1800s in California, specifically San Francisco, was a far stranger time in America's history than most people know. It was not only the Civil War and post-Civil War era, but also the Wild West, which is essentially the one true American mythology we as a young nation have given the world.
Yes,
You're welcome.
Well, also it was in the wreckage of the gold rush too.
Yeah,
was
that's
another big
The
factor in the late 80s.
49ers.
The
Minor
49ers,
49ers.
but, you know, not six.
Not to be
6 to 8
confused
years
with the
after
minor
19
69ers.
Yeah, so there was the 49ers. Yeah, so they had like a few years of gold rush in Civil War.
It was just a few years.
But
Yeah, it was
shit,
rapid
California
expansion.
was not even in the Civil War, were they?
No.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So who cares?
That actually.
They didn't pick a side, right?
I mean, I don't think they were incorporated
They weren't
into
even, they were
the.
still just California. They were still
Yeah.
like
It was the California territory.
Yeah.
Technically.
Okay, so they weren't a state.
like
so
on
they couldn't-
Deadwood, how
And it's-
Deadwood was Deadwood territory.
Yeah.
Like it was our Dakota
Yeah,
territory.
or the Oklahoma territory. You know,
Yeah, yeah. It was
Okay.
unclaimed land, but you know, Whitey was present and making.
We
a
took
stake.
it. It just wasn't official yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But alongside
Royally.
the time of cowboys and Indians, were also birthed numerous other lesser-known old-timey archetypes, some of which were so strange and exotic it seemed as if they'd been ripped from the pages of American 19th century fiction writers like Edgar Allan Poe, Mark Twain, or Ambrose Bierce, who, by the way, all of whom are legendary characters in their own right, and why sometime down the line we will cover Ambrose Bierce, because he mysteriously disappeared. A lot of crazy legends about it.
There was a lot of overlapping.
Yeah,
timelines
this
at
whole
that time,
this era is
very
crazy.
rich, very romantic. I love this stuff.
Yeah. This is a strange time when one might find all types of mythical American kooks and cranks with more iconoclast than you could shake a shitty stick at. Amidst the romanticized era of gunslingers, heroic outlaws, dastardly bad men, banditos, hobos, desperados, robber barons, Indian shaman and warrior chieftains, Chinese railroad laborers, tongs, and proto-opium cartels, etc. There were all manner of lesser-known, eccentric individualists. It was a time of mad scientists, mystery airships, snake oil salesmen hawking all sorts of pseudo-poisonous patent medicines, medical quacks and crazed vivisectionists inserting goat and monkey testicles into perfectly willing patients. True story. Flashy
vocabulary.
taxidermists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vivisection is what you get a vocabulary for Christmas.
Who is the author of this book?
Drury.
Wait, is this your summary you're reading?
This is my
Yeah, this is-
summary.
Oh,
yeah.
this, oh, this,
I'm just-
This is written by Michael.
Yeah, I'm painting a picture here.
Okay.
Norman Rockwell with words.
What's that guy?
He's being a
What's the
wordsmith.
guy? The NPR guy.
The fucking
PBS guy.
Civil War guy.
Geordie LaForge?
No, the guy that does all the
Talking
goddamn
glory.
documentaries.
Oh, Ken Burns.
Ken Burns.
Yeah.
There we go.
Ken Burns vibe.
Alright.
We just derailed it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Well,
Nah, it's
whatever.
Chugga.
Put some fucking banjo music behind it.
There were traveling carnivals, cannibals of the Badlands, syphilitic mutants and madmen in and out of insane asylums, badass madams and ass-kicking women of the night. There was oil, natural gas, steel, and banking magnates, many of whom were this country's first villains and millionaires. A lot of overlap.
Very Monopoly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This era would see the introduction of industry in America, where early socialist labor leaders were fighting the good fight for the working class and rewarded for their efforts with ruination and execution via Pinkerton infiltration, painting them as stereotypical bomb-throwing anarchists,
Yeah,
giving way to the false flag, privately funded psyop eventually becoming one of America's new favorite pastimes, right alongside the brand spanking new institution called baseball, I believe it's pronounced. This is an era where hundreds of thousands from outside our country's borders were down on their luck, and them fucking immigrants often denied opportunities to pursue the American dream, who soon decided to sleepwalk westward in search of fame and fortune, stillborn inside dried-up gold mines, There were theosophists, spiritualists, and even more obscure or freakish religions who were embarking upon pilgrimages in search of some strange new promised land, and seekers of the far-off frontier's freedoms, bringing about all manner of misfits and miscreants in the sometimes misguided hopes of finding their own little slice of big blue sky. This is a time when high strangeness existed in a far greater quantity or quality than even today remains unknown. Nor could they have ever guessed in those dusty old days of the weird, weird West. It was America's newly settled coast that would draw not only these many eccentric individuals, both canny and uncanny, specifically to the San Francisco Bay Area, where they'd adopted the namesake of the infamous pirates of the Barbary Coast to invoke a whole new totality to the frontier spirit. And it's here we'll recount the story of one Joshua Abraham Norton, the first, and so far only, Emperor of these United States, Protector of Mexico, and King of the Hobos. But first, to give things a bit more context and clarification, let's delineate the differences between bums, hobos, drifters, grifters, etc.
And the yeggs.
And yegs.
Yeah, those definitely under the ETC.
Scrambled yegs.
All right, so we'll start from top down as far as honorable goes. You got your hobos at first. Now, these guys were, a lot of people, the terminology gets mixed up, but hobos were traveling, usually skilled, usually sometimes highly skilled, workers that were down on their luck, and they would ride the rails in search of work and in search of money, fortune.
They were just guys that couldn't be nailed down, like the
Nomads.
They're like gig workers.
Yeah, they're gig workers.
Gig economy.
In today's modern parlance.
They got by. They worked, but they traveled.
Yeah, they had a skill, and they were looking for a place to offer that skill in exchange for payment.
Fantastic.
Okay? Yeah. So
honorable.
Hobos, people need to change their opinion of the word hobo, I think. I'll give you more examples of this. Then you got, after hobos, there was bums. Now, bums are on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah, that's what I call them.
Yeah, bums are the ones that, the way they were known is that they were too lazy to work and too mean to find work.
Yeah.
Schizophrenic.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot. These were the winos,
or just assholes.
Yeah, or just assholes.
Winos, junkies.
Yeah, and then you have your tramps, which travel by rail like the hobos and the bums, but they only worked when they had to, when they couldn't get money from strangers.
Yeah, when somebody's like, when they asked, like, hey, can I get $1? And they're like, no, but you can fucking wash these windows, you piece of shit. I'll give you 5 cents. You wash these fucking windows.
To give you $5 to wash my white walls.
5 cents. I need more than 5 cents. I'll give you 5 cents. Yeah.
They didn't know about Bidenomics back then.
I think they were called McKinley-nomics during the rise of this stuff.
Thank you, McKinley.
No, wasn't this Lincoln?
Well, yeah, but the apex of hobo culture was like turn of the century, Dust Bowl.
Yeah. Okay. Then you got
and an anarchist executed McKinley, quote unquote.
You got your grifters, your tokers, your smokers, your midnight jokers. I couldn't help it.
Backdoor pokers.
God damn it.
So you got your drifters, which that's kind of nondescript. That could be just anyone. Then you got your grifters, not to be confused. Grifters are your ones that are normally local guys that just picked a corner and they would make crooked business deals. They normally weren't like
con men.
They normally didn't have a bindle and a stick and a little stub of candle.
They had a white suit and a straw hat, and everyone called them professor.
Yeah,
or at least there was some archetype like that everywhere.
So these are the distinctions, basically.
Fill us in on the hobo lifestyle, by the way.
Nothing beats the hobo life, stabbing folks with my hobo knife.
Because I saw that you had some some tips and tricks of the road.
Yeah, this is where I really fell in love with this stuff. The hobo lifestyle. To me, I find it very romantic.
It's kind of.
Well, it's the mystery of the open road.
It's the
frontier
open road.
spirit.
The smoke of adventure.
Not to be confused with Frontier Spirit Airlines.
But I am also going to compare this to the goddamn, like, I've grew up in the punk scene and all the crusties.
Yeah.
Crusty train hoppers.
Yeah, we've met those people
I
that
don't,
do
we
that.
know him. I know.
Yeah.
Individuals.
Nick Moreno, you suck wieners for fun. I'm gonna make you listen
Big
to this.
green ones.
Yeah.
You know,
Is that Roger from Doug?
Yeah.
So, once again, in San
Deep cut.
Francisco especially, this was after, we're talking the 1880s here, so this is like a couple of decades after the gold rush, after the prosperity that it brought, things went on a downswing. And at that point, when hobos started lighting out, if you will, looking for work and adventure, they were often seen in some places unfavorable because it's the notion of, you know, someone from out of town coming into your town trying to get work when you're looking for a fucking job. You know, if that sounds familiar to anybody, you know, it's like, they took our job, you know.
It's just the continuation of the fucking immigrants.
Yeah, there you go. But, you know, there were some places that were good, there's some places that were bad. They actually developed a code, kind of a hobo code, if you will.
Yeah.
Now, there's the hobo code, which is like words to live by.
Right.
And then there's the hobo hieroglyphics. The hobo code, there was a hobo convention in 1849. Actually, hobos were a lot more associated, organized back then. There was a movement, kind of like a union of hobos, if you will.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they had meeting houses.
It's almost like
even a hobo university.
It's like Freemasonry for poor people to a degree.
It
Well,
is.
but they're not poor people. They're poor people have a job
off the grid. Let's say.
Yeah, they're off the
early
grid.
equivalent of.
They're chosen poor.
They're like interstate migrant workers, basically.
Yeah.
You know, the hobos in
The
particular.
hobos were migrant
Yeah.
Hobos indicate a strong sense that they had a skill to offer, and they weren't shiftless louseabouts.
What was Christopher Lloyd in Dennis the Menace?
Oh, he was a bum.
Was he a bum or
He was not working.
he wasn't a yeg?
He was going from town to town stealing.
He wasn't a yeg. I hope.
He might have been a yeg, but
I hope
that's,
he wasn't a yeg. 'Cause
He's
that-
definitely a drifter.
we just gotta wait for the Dennis Menace thing to come
Me too.
Yeah, well, no. After the copyright goes off of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like with the Winnie the Pooh. Eventually there will be a Dennis the Menace where Christopher Lloyd is totally
It's a serial killer.
yegging the shit out of them over a fucking kitchen post.
Oh,
It's
more accurate than we're willing to go into, actually.
Yeah, hobos started to organize. They had a written code of hieroglyphics that they would use. They all rode the rail. That's another thing that's synonymous with hobos, is riding trains.
I'll try and include a link to the hobo hieroglyphics in our show notes as well, so you can check it out.
Easily accessible on Google Images.
Also, real quick, just I did message Nick Moreno, the my reference. Of
Big Little Nick.
Big Nick.
Okay, yeah.
Big Nick. I told him, I was like, I just brought you up and said that we were talking about hobo culture and how you like anal sex and whatnot and yegging. And he said, bring me on. So I said, maybe we'll get you on the interview series.
Yeah. Tales from the road.
And he's got a lot of good tales from the road, actually.
I think I remember hearing a few.
He is a tale teller. He will tell some tales. And his dick is about 5 feet longer every time he tells that tale.
Do you fuck him for the story? It's a distinction that needs to be made.
Anyway, yes.
So, 1849, Hobo Convention.
Oh, yeah.
That's when the Hobo Code of Ethics was...
They had a convention?
Yeah, they had conventions. They had universities later on. This is like in the 1900s. About 20 years later. Because there were so many hobos. I mean, they were prevalent everywhere. Anywhere there was trains.
Once there was I mean, fuck. Like,
yeah.
It's a free ride.
Yeah. If you don't get caught.
Yeah.
But anyways,
you don't want to get caught.
Yeah, the bulls will beat the fuck out of you.
The bulls,
I have been told by my buddy they'll
fucking kill you.
They will just, well, back then they would kill you. In the current time, or at least in the early 2000s, when my buddy here was hopping the train, they would just beat the shit out of you, kick you off the train.
Leave you in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, mostly. One of them didn't beat the shit out of him, and he caught a charge for federally trespassing on fucking train
Yeah,
property
no
or some
good.
shit like that. It got dismissed. But
This is also, I want to say, about a good 50, 60 years before Panzerum.
also, y'all remember Pee-wee's Big Adventure where he hopped the train?
Yeah. Tell him
And he
Large
met a
Marge
hobo.
sent you.
Tell him
Well,
large.
no, I would say the fella he met was more of a bum than a hobo.
Well, we didn't get in a character establishment on that. Actually,
You sing that song? Was it something in the kettle? Shoe fly shoe.
No, he sang "Fly in the Buttermilk, Shoe Fly Shoe, Fly in the Buttermilk."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack
And
corn.
then Pee
I
Wee
don't
just
care.
got tired of the fucking hearing the goddamn hobo songs.
Yeah, I
and
remember
just
that part
jumped off
now.
the fucking train.
This is crack. Rock cocaine.
I pity the fool that don't eat my breakfast cereal.
This is still one of the best. My child loves that movie just like I love
wanted that
movie.
breakfast machine made out of Connects and shit that he had. Oh
No.
my
Dude.
god.
The Danny Elfman song
Soundtrack, yeah.
Breakfast Machine
Yeah.
it's on my playlist.
I have
I
that
literally
soundtrack.
that song rips.
Yeah.
Like I jam that driving through traffic. Like Danny Elfman, shout out to Danny Elfman, one of the best composers for movies ever. But that one specific.
If you want to hear that track with some fucking not drum and bass style music, but with a drum kick and fucking some bass like boom boom.
What, they did a
Boom, boom.
remix of that?
This dude named Mike Realm, yeah.
I'll
It's
check that
pretty
out.
badass.
I'll check that out. I
We'll
love
have to add that at the end of the
like
show.
literally that is on my fucking playlist. Like Breakfast Machine is on my fucking playlist.
I'm just a breakfast machine.
Oh, Hobo Convention,
Yeah.
1849. We got a Hobo Code of Ethics.
Mm.
I'll read off a couple of them, which are like the banner pieces.
Is do not rape on there?
It's not in there, but it's
not-
insinuated.
It's a given.
Yeah. Because if you get known as a rapist, then you're gonna.
Then you're a yeg. You're not a.
Then you're a yeg, yeah.
You're
and then
not a
you're
hobo
Willing
anymore.
out of the picture here. Rule number 1.
Hobos were like
bylaw
knights.
number 1. Decide your own life. Don't let another person rule you.
Fucking A.
Run or rule you. This is like a Facebook don't let anyone steal your light kind of thing.
Be your own 4th of July.
Kind of saccharine. Number 3. I'm just reading. I'm cherry picked some of the best ones.
Right, yeah.
Number 3. Don't take advantage of someone who is in a vulnerable situation, locals or other hobos.
But
You know what's wrong with that? It's like do unto others,
Yeah.
man.
golden rule in it.
Yeah.
Do you remember off the top of your head how many total rules there were?
Over 20.
Okay.
Yeah. They were a very litigious bunch
Yeah.
when they organized.
Who'd have thunk?
Yeah. Number 4, always try to find work, even if temporary, and always seek jobs nobody wants.
Yeah.
So they're like,
Migrant
really-
workers, like you
yeah,
said earlier.
exactly.
Yeah.
Skip to number 8. Always respect nature. Don't
Why did
leave
you
garbage.
skip to number 8?
He's picking out the best ones.
Oh,
I
okay.
cherry picked some of the most important.
Okay.
tenets. Some of them were kind of.
You didn't skip over the do not rape one, right?
Some of them were kind of repugnant.
I think that's,
not repugnant, but redundant.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
about to say I want the repugnant.
No,
one.
there's actually a lack of repugnance in this. It's quite.
Yeah.
Well, it's good they had a code.
That's
You
why
would
I'm-
appreciate these.
These guys were
I
the
think
knights of their
I'm
time.
appreciating them so far, so
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
They're chivalrous.
Number
Yeah.
8, always respect nature. Don't leave garbage. That's like the Cub Scout. You know,
Yeah.
leave it
Yeah.
better than you found it when you go to a campsite.
No trace camping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Number 11, ride your train respectfully. That means don't be flagrant. Don't. And it's kind of, to me, it kind of sounded like.
Don't be jacking off when
Keep
there's
your
another
head up.
guy in the car.
Keep your head on a swivel.
And
But,
don't fuck
yeah.
it up for other people.
Yeah.
And don't-
Well, jacking off on if you got caught jacking off, that would
Get your ass kicked.
you get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
You
That's
gotta get your ass
borderline
kicked for
yeg
that one.
behavior.
Hell
And-
no,
and-
man! I believe you get your ass kicked. So
And
okay.
don't shit in the corner of the boxcar because you know what? You just open the door, you shit, and it's just.
Yeah, the world is your toilet. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can use
dart
air as
rail
like
riders.
like a pneumatic bidet. You know, you just,
Yeah, the dart rail is kind of the closest thing to this.
Number 14, and this is a really good one. Help all runaway children and try your best to get them back home where they belong.
Ooh, I like the theory, but I don't think it was practiced.
Now,
This is
hobo.
hobo code. Not yeg.
It's
Uh,
hobo code,
We're not crossing into Yeg territory.
but I'm just thinking about Panzeram.
Yep. Number 15, help other hobos because they may need to help you one day.
Karma,
Do
bro.
unto others what you would have done
These
to
are
you.
actually very good. This is a very good code,
Yeah.
but I
Especially if you're in a
am curious as to how many people follow.
if you were a true
If they didn't
hobo.
follow the hobo code, then they
Yeah.
were a fucking yeg.
Yeah.
So simple
so,
as that.
So did the real hobos like form kind of a beat the brakes off the like prison? Basically, I'm thinking about prison. It's like
Was there vigilante justice within? Is
in
that what you
prison.
mean?
Was there
yeah,
infighting
was
between
no,
bums
not it's
and,
not vigilante.
was
it's
it bums
you're
versus
managing
yags?
your own people.
Was it
No, that's
bums
what I'm
versus
saying.
Yags versus
If you were
hobos?
asking.
You're talking about like a Anchorman Ron Burgundy fight between the networks of hobos, like the hobos versus the bums versus the Yags
No,
in a
it's
street fight.
it's the higher level guys. Basically the guys that have a little bit of
A shot caller, I believe they're called.
Moxie?
they're called the higher morals.
Yeah.
Higher morals.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
Well,
I
those are the
wasn't.
hobos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The hobos had the morals.
I was actually
Did
not
they-
talking about prison. Even I was talking about within.
Oh no, in prison
the
they're
hobo
called shot
network.
callers. They're called shot callers.
No,
But-
I mean this whole.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
tangent.
anyway, but did they like regulate? Did they?
I'm sure they did.
I imagine there was some regulation, but I also imagine sometimes a couple of hobos ended up outnumbered by some yeggs and got raped.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, well
the
there's-
sisters did Andy Dufresne really good that day.
Yeah, God
Stuff like
damn
that.
the
Some
sisters.
days he'd come out all black and blue. Some days he'd do all right.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
a pretty
Like
good Morgan Freeman.
this,
I like that.
this hobo network, this hobo like code is essentially like. That's why I compared it to like a poor man's masonry, because it's a moral and ethical code to live by, and they're doing each other's favors. I'm sure there's secret
Yeah.
handshakes, there's secret signals.
It's a fraternity.
Yeah.
Like just like motorcycle
fraternal,
clubs.
yeah.
Motorcycle
Yeah.
clubs.
It's like, never go against the family.
Well, yeah, you never go against the
The
family.
hobo family.
It doesn't matter what if you're a
Look at how
mafia.
that massacre my boy.
Yeah.
I have an orange in my mouth.
Okay. All right. You did an okay Brando. It was an okay Brando. I'll give that a pass. That's
All
fine.
right, thank you.
Yeah, get your stupid dollar sandwiches.
Hey, look,
I
look,
missed
look,
the
look right
Belvedere.
behind you on the wall.
Hey, where's my little tiny guy
And
that looks
just
like
so
me?
the audience knows, behind Spencer is my portrait of Brando in The Godfather holding it.
Well, we covered the hobo code. We got hobo hieroglyphics.
I've found those pretty interesting.
And, you know, I saw similar things after Katrina when people would spray paint the patterns.
Yeah.
It was a visual way of communicating a good amount of data,
Yeah.
like in the flash of an.
Yeah.
Like, all you had to do was look at it. You knew their code, their hieroglyphics would say this town has a water source.
Yeah.
This town doesn't have a water source, and shit like that would be the difference between
And
life
this
and death.
town has a shitty sheriff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be like
They
Well,
have-
yeah,
I
it's
know
like I know there's specific hobo hieroglyphs that mean like angry man with a gun lives here,
Yeah.
or
Don't
they'll-
jump
or-
the fuck off right here.
nice friendly woman lives here.
Yeah,
yeah, or
stuff
they'll
like
attack
that.
you
Fresh
here.
pies cooling on the windowsill all the time.
Yeah, you know, this place, this house will allow you to wash up. You know, this place
Yeah.
has a barn that you could sleep in that they offer to hobos, like an Airbnb
I
back
still
then.
just keep picturing Christopher fucking Lloyd in goddamn Disney.
Eating that big can of beans, and like number 10 size can of beans.
Yeah, and
like
they,
a half
and they were
gallon.
farting so badly that like, that was a good movie.
Beans is like Popeye
You know what?
spinach
I gotta
for
show that to
hobos.
the kiddo. I haven't let her watch Dennis the Menace.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Because of the mystery and the romance, even in the time that they were in, there was lots of like tall tales, legends sprouted, and like oral storytelling, which led to what we know them as now.
That's where the Big Rock Candy Mountain comes from.
Yeah, the cigarette trees and the whiskey rivers.
Yeah,
and,
Well,
trickles
these
down the
days
rocks.
it's the crack rock candy mountain.
yeah.
Actually, it's mostly meth these days because crack's
and,
too expensive.
The fentanyl hills and
Yeah, the fentanyl hills and the big meth candy
oh, we
mountain.
need to make a big meth candy mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, that was heaven, Eden, the Garden of Eden, basically.
Until you run out.
Yeah, all the bulldogs have wooden legs or something like that. I don't remember the lyrics.
It'll take me a minute.
You know, today, this is something that's kind of relevant today about hobos. Everyone's talking about, you know, on the YouTubes and the Tic Tacs and the Click Clacks and
the bippity boops,
Twitzels and whatnot. They talk about everyday carry. You know,
Oh
like,
yeah, EDC.
Yeah, EDC. People, it's kind of a popular thing.
That's
it's
my market.
This is my EDC.
By the way, check me out,
kit.
ACAB Industries EDC materials. Nice.
Word, yeah, the best shit in all of Texas.
Yep.
There was like, you know, hobos had many things to consider when they would think about what they're going to carry. Staying warm, so that means jackets, gloves. A lot of them just had extra socks that they would use as gloves and pot handles and stuff like that.
When you see the heat coming around the corner, you got to be ready to pick up your shit and go at any time. So you're packing light.
Were you almost quoting heat?
Yeah, but I couldn't remember the rest.
Yeah,
of it.
you couldn't remember it. I don't remember it either.
Mike, you're not wrong. It was about packing light because they had to be on the move. Because they packed light, they had, and this is my favorite part, it was the hobo jungles. Now, hobo jungles were like satellite bases normally on the outskirts of town.
Oh,
and I didn't know about this till I started looking into this particular story. Hobo jungles were like off on the outskirts base that you could leave like your heavy stuff. It was for hobos especially.
It was like a save point in a video game.
It was a save point in a video game, yes. And it was like a place where you had inventory there. There was heavier things like wash basins and stuff, and cooking stuff, lamps, tarps, stuff
kind of like
like
a
that.
tent city.
Yeah, it was like a tent city
tent cities,
that
I
was
guess.
for hobos. And there was a code for that, too. It was also leave it better than you found it. A lot of the time,
Good rule to live by.
You like a lot of the time, a hobo would come across the jungle by seeing a little demarcated telephone pole with a symbol here, indicating that there's a jungle there. They hop off, they go over there, they find, and this is like, say, imagine it's a cold time, you know, you got extra tarp so you can make a windshield. A lot of the time, they would try to leave food like salt pork and dried things, canned goods.
Yeah, like
there. It's like a little stash box.
Yeah, I was thinking of geocaching today, like when I was reading about some of this. It's kind of like that too.
It's like geocaching, where there would be like little like oil lamps.
But you got to know the codes and the hieroglyphs and the language to find it.
Because what would look like a
Like a
scribble
treasure
to
map.
the uninitiated would be like, oh, there's food and water here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there'd be mirrors, extra fuel for burning, like a little place to keep wood dry. They would try to leave matches for the next guy. And I find that really sweet. You know?
Yeah, network,
You know, you go
fraternity.
into town, you bust up a bunch of shiffer robes for somebody.
Bust up a shiver.
You earn a little, and for payment they give you some eggs and some salt pork, you know. And you had your
Some
fill.
fat back, some back tack.
You leave a little bit of fat back, nickel
back tack, fat tack.
Oh no,
back.
not Nickelback.
Fat-
That's only if you catch the rail to Canada.
Oh, well,
Aren't they Canadian? They are
Yeah.
Canadian, right?
Yeah, piggy pellets.
Oh, that's right. They did play it. God damn,
Yeah.
the Piggy Palace.
There was actually like I don't know what this makes him to me, but my grandma's brother, I guess that would be my great uncle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
He was a bare knuckle boxer, and he kind of like.
It's
like
very
like
Irish
a
of
pugilist?
him.
Yeah.
Like a pugilist?
Yeah, probably closer to that actually.
Like the Bowery Boys?
But he was also. You knew you knew he did what he did just by talking to him. We'll say. But yeah, he was kind of.
He got brain damage.
Yeah. He was kind of in and out of this world,
ECT.
where the I guess the yeg and the hobo kind of intersect, because they would have, like, for lack of a better term, fight clubs where if you wanted to earn extra money, fucking they'd have like
Bum fights.
yeah, pretty much.
It was old school bum fights.
Those guys
where
didn't
they would
invent
just
that
be
shit.
Like, here, destroy each other, and they would throw coins on the ground.
Okay,
Below.
can we just jump to the guy that did that? The spank ass guy.
Spank ass guy.
The spank ass guy, leather ass guy.
Oh yeah.
Like okay, just to let the audience know,
Leatherman?
I only skimmed all the material that Mike sent me because this is theirs right now.
Well, yeah. From hobo to specifically hobo culture, specifically to San Francisco, where we'll get to our main character in
The
just
San
a moment.
Francisco treat.
I heard they're moving to Boston.
It's kind of funny that it's this homeless guy in the 1860s, and now San Francisco is, and actually for the past 30 years.
Covered in shit?
Homeless shit.
Yeah.
San Francisco, all of my train hopping friends ended up in the Bay Area. Like, that's where they go.
Weather's nice all year.
Well, and then they go trim. It's not nice. It's
it gets cold during the
Mark
winter.
Twain, the coldest summer I ever spent, or the coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco.
You gotta walk up that one hill.
That figuratively.
It's
though.
figuratively, but still.
But yeah, it does.
It's not good weather.
San Francisco is technically kind of like north of Central.
You don't swim in the water.
Hell no. You don't swim in that water.
Fucking goddamn Alcatraz is right there because nobody wants to get.
They would die from freezing to death. To swim away.
Mostly. There was those guys though.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood made it. I like to think that Clint Eastwood.
And the other one who was like, damn it. I don't remember his name.
That guy from Trimmers.
Yeah, that was the guy.
That was the guy from Trimmers. I like that.
The dad from Family Ties?
No.
No,
from Trimmers.
Not Kevin Bacon, but the other main guy.
Oh,
the
Val.
older guy.
Yeah, Val.
Yeah, okay.
Val with fucking like
Fred Ward.
Fred Ward.
I think it was Fred.
Fred Ward was the other guy that wasn't Kevin Bacon in Trimmers.
Yeah, then that's Fred Ward.
Yeah.
AKA
anyway,
Remo Williams.
Hey, everybody go watch Trimmers. Trimmers, send us some money. We just gave you a shout out.
Graboids.
Graboids.
Yeah,
that's so fucking early.
San Francisco specifically, they tolerated a lot of eccentric weirdos, and boy, did they have a fucking cast of characters.
Okay, I get it. Kind of, this guy is a little bit hobo linked but he wasn't a bum. He wasn't a hobo. He wasn't a yegg I hope he wasn't a yegg.
Really do work.
He didn't travel. Well, but he spoke, and he was good at speaking, and people apparently thought his ideas were.
That's what made him a singular creature.
He was charismatic. That's the only reason that I am not on full hater mode on this guy.
He was the right man for his place and time.
He was, and like
sometimes there's a man.
The only thing it made me think of is all right, you remember we used to hang out at a billiard bar and Popeye came by?
Yeah.
Everybody liked Popeye.
Yeah, he's all right.
He was all right. I mean,
he was tolerable.
He was tolerable. He was I'm 55. I'm 55. And like
Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah, Sammy Davis. He would just say just random shit. But this guy actually seems way more likable and actually coherent than old fucking goddamn Popeye.
Norton's he's ahead of his time, and
was he ahead of his time, or was he just the right man at the right time?
Well, there's that, but he had ideas that were ahead of his time.
Kind of.
But we will say, to paint a further picture, San Francisco had a high tolerance for eccentricity and weirdos, let's say. And,
still does.
Yeah, and there was quite a few well-known characters in and out of the San Francisco area at this time. Some of the more well-known ones, besides our main subject today, are the likes of George Washington II, who was basically just a dude who capitalized on how much he looked like George Washington.
Colorful names,
yeah. His real name was like Professor Brooks or something.
Farnsworth.
But he wasn't a professor. But he looked like fucking George Washington.
Who checked credentials in the 1860s?
Who had the Carfax on these people?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying about like grifters earlier. It's like
you just
they
say
call
whatever.
him the professor because he knows how to fuck people over real well.
Yeah, you could just say whatever back then.
Let's see. We also have the Money King, who was basically a loan shark. Keep it in your pants, Chris.
I'm leaving it alone. I'm leaving it alone.
I'm not going to say what race, what people. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
One of the more famous stories about him is that he was known for being miserly, and but people would come up and they'd be like, "Hey, I heard you're a total stingy bastard," and he'd be like, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll challenge you to a money throwing contest into the San Francisco Bay."
I did read that part.
Yeah,
that
it's like
fun.
Every $5 you throw in, I'll throw in 20, and they would basically play chicken in the form of throwing money into the fucking water. So there was that guy. There's another character.
Yo, that sounds like what people do over at Tiger Cabaret over there and fucking off of 30.
Yeah, but that money is being thrown into some child's welfare or to send a girl to college.
It's not the college fund. They're getting their nails and hairs done so they can strip some more.
There was another
lucrative trade.
There's another royal figure who was known as the King of Pain. And this is one of those snake oil salesmen. He came up with all these different medicines, largely created out of alcohol, cocaine, opium, some likely mixture of those.
Like patent medicines.
Exactly, yeah. And he was also well known for only wearing his trousers and saying that all he needed was his medicine. But,
big shirtless.
Yeah. They call him the King of Pain because his medicine could take care of any and everything, which was a common claim with most of those. So there's Money King, King of Pain. There was a fella called the Great Unknown. Nobody knew his name. He was soft-spoken, but he had giant hair and was always dressed to the nines. There's another fella called the Gutter Snipe, who some people did conflate with Norton, different character. But he's called the Gutter Snipe because he was often seen carousing through the gutters with a fucking pointy stick-ended umbrella and smoking cigars that he'd find and pulling them out of the garbage and whatnot. There were two good boys named Bummer and Lazarus that we'll kind of get into a little bit later, but they were the most famous dogs in San Francisco history. And then, of course, there's the infamous Oofty Goofty, a.k.a. Professor Hardness. This is the guy that you were mentioning earlier. Oofty Goofty was originally a circus geek, for lack of a better term. His manager covered him in horsehair with glue. He eventually got it surgically removed, but it did cost him some skin. And after that line of work, he got into selling fake jewels, rubies, diamonds, etc. But he was most well known for doing anything for a dime. This included allowing strangers at bars to hit him with a stick that he carried for 10 cents. You paid up to 50 cents, you could hit him with a baseball bat. But it was also a baseball bat that he carried, so...
Well, 50 cents went a far long way more than it does.
Hey, that gets you a night in a fucking hotel, as we'll find out later. But yeah, Emperor Norton was literally king of the hobos at this time and forever, really. Joshua Abraham Norton. As far as his background goes, there's a lot of conjecture, a lot of different competing stories, but the overall, overarching theory, the main accepted history, is that he was born in a town called Deptford in England, which is now part of London, to a Jonathan Norton and a Sarah Norton, no relation. Quite confusing, I understand.
N-O-R-D-E-N.
Yeah. They were a Jewish family who, believe it or not, at that time in history, people had quite a bone of contention with the Jews for some reason. They were part of a group known as the Settlers of 1820, who all moved down south to South Africa, and they set up their own sort of community there. Eventually, Norton, in this time, growing up in his formative years in South Africa, would reject the faith of his father. He never really... I don't know, he kind of denied Judaism, and when it was brought up, he'd get kind of... upset to a degree about it, because he related it to things growing up that basically just authority figures he didn't like, pretty much. So it came up every often later in life, but he was also one of the first people who would later on in life, during his reign, his 20-year reign as emperor, call for a sort of one world religious council. He would also be one of the first people to float the idea of a League of Nations 60 years before it happened. So he did have ideas that were both brilliant and far ahead of their time.
Yeah, and that's not the only idea of his that actually ended up after some time
coming
to fruition.
I did see that. I did not read the book. I did a little bit of research on this. His political ideas at the time were actually,
pretty progressive.
That is what really got me not hating this guy, because I'm like, fucking, we're just doing this fucking bum. But no, he actually was a likable person. Eccentric. He was eccentric. Was he a kook? Was he a crank?
He was more of an iconoclast, I'd say.
Probably.
He was just because he's not a kook or a crank. Really,
he was brilliant too.
But he was a little bit of. I think he was a little bit of all of them.
He was well known for being able to converse in a wide variety of topics, because there actually was such a thing as a free lunch back in the day, and especially in certain bars and restaurants when you didn't have things like freezers and preservatives in food, they would have their free lunch to kind of clean house because they have to keep moving produce
Was
out
the
in and
saloon
out.
the first restaurant?
Probably.
Restaurant?
Yeah, restaurant like
Yeah.
Hooters. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess they serve.
Yeah, it was
food.
like Hooters, but they would sleep with you for an extra 15 cents.
Yeah.
You just throw one gold coin on the counter. So yeah, and people would go to those restaurants that he was known to frequent because A, him frequenting your business was good publicity for your business, and B, he was known to have good conversation with people and they liked his ideas. He was a smart guy on a variety of topics until it came time to talk about himself. That's where he got a little.
Yeah, in restaurants, he was like a 1880s Zagat's guide. Companies.
Dear God, kill me now.
Yeah. Restaurants would be very happy to offer him a free meal in exchange for a little placard. Like at restaurants, they have the ratings outside the restaurant.
Emperor
He
Norton
would
ate
say,
here.
Emperor Norton was here, basically.
Yeah, and that went for hotels and lodgings and
Theaters.
Theaters, yep. The theaters would save seats for him, specifically right up front. Sometimes for his unofficial dog sidekicks, Bummer and Lazarus.
Hate dogs.
They had their own little side quest.
Yeah.
Pissing and shitting and biting.
Well, I mean, there was some of that. But yeah, and then what else was it?
What happened to the dog?
Tailors as well. Tailors and clothiers or whatever you call them, haberdashers, shit like that. Anything that he wore. He mostly got his clothes from the Presidio, though. It was old, outdated military garb, which was what he was mostly known for wearing. Like, anytime you see a picture of Emperor Norton, he's wearing his full regalia, as they'd call it.
With his epaulets that came from the retired Navy uniform, but
Yep.
which he claimed that they came from the Queen of France?
Queen Victoria.
Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
Wait, what uniform was it he was wearing?
He wore a blue naval uniform.
Which naval?
Sometimes he would wear Union. Sometimes he would wear Confederate.
Yeah, because he would wear it until it just wore out. And they'd give him a new one, but he put his own, what do they call it?
Epaulets.
Epaulets on it. And he had his own old-timey cavalry sword, which was like his
Yeah, I
basic
saw the
sword
pictures
or a
of him with
cane.
the sword.
Yeah.
He always had or an umbrella sometimes,
Yep.
too. He always had an accessory.
And always wears his
gotta bring that
beaver
back.
hat with ostrich feathers in it.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
see he added an ostrich
He'd have a
feather.
plume on his hat.
Yeah. Let's see. He came to America via Rio de Janeiro, allegedly, where he made his first bit of fortune outside of what may have been a small inheritance. There's also some rumors that he was possibly the son of Napoleon III and or was related to the recently deposed aristocracy of France, who were all getting their fucking heads chopped off a little bit before this time. But that's
I imagine
all.
they deserved it.
That's all conjecture. Oh yeah. Hey, fucking keep an eye on America. It'll happen again. Let's see. He
Don't make me
finally.
bring up the guillotine conspiracy.
Is it FEMA? The FEMA guillotines?
It is actually.
The flying Wu-Tang guillotines. So yeah, he eventually comes to San Francisco, the United States, in 1849 with roughly
Not the
40,000.
San Francisco in China.
No, not
Okay.
that one. There's a China in San Francisco, though. Allegedly with roughly $40,000 to his name, though this is also disputed. But eventually he would end up, investing in real estate. He ended up buying up a lot of property and was into real estate speculation. And
Also goods.
yeah, eventually, like they said that, and this is also when he joined I believe it was the Occidental Lodge, number 22, Freemason Lodge, local.
Oh yeah.
Where he was in good standing until
Until he wasn't.
For it, well,
Until he wasn't.
yeah, but they
he-
took care of him.
So he wasn't. It was around still. The gold rush was still going on,
Mhm.
and he did the thing that a real smart person does. You don't go mine for gold. You sell motherfuckers shovels.
Yeah,
You sell the shovels to the assholes that are trying to get rich quick.
yep.
That's how you make money.
It's the
is
whole,
selling fucking shovels. I
Oh,
don't know,
my
real-
soul through the company store.
sluice equipment.
sluice equipment.
Mining pans.
Yeah, that type of shit.
Oil lamps.
Again,
And if you're looking for your sluice equipment,
you know what? I'm gonna bring
you
up
can dial up AdamandEve.com.
Deadwood again, because that's what Timothy Oliphant's character, with his Jew buddy.
This is very
he was.
Deadwood.
That's what they were on the show. That's how it was referred to as.
His buddy Rosenstein.
Yeah, something like that. And that's what they're like. We're not going to come here to mine for gold. We're here to sell the gold miner shit. And you know what? They did well.
Yeah.
Everybody that
Fucking
sold.
smart.
Yeah, it is the smart thing to do.
Most of the places that were selling that shit were owned by the mining operations, and so any money you made was spent as credit at the store, and that's how most of these miners ended up fucking themselves or being fucked.
I thought that was more coal mining.
Yeah, no,
it's
a lot of the
chips and
mines.
company stores and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess there was a little bit of that with the gold mining, like big operations.
Well, I mean, all kinds of minerals.
To bring up Deadwood, when you bring in Hearst, you remember when Hearst, which was a real Deadwood, for those that have not seen it, was loosely based on real events and real people. And George Hearst was the son of the newspaper founder.
The newspaper founder came later, I believe.
The newspaper founder came from the guy that was the gold miner.
Yeah.
The Comstock Lode.
That's right, yeah.
It sounds gross. It sounds so gross.
That's weird because
that sounds like a video that Spencer would watch.
This is the biggest load this side of Petaluma.
I believe the second generation Comstock after that was actually super into obscenity laws, so isn't that ironic?
Yeah, he was a real bastard about that.
Yeah.
He would entrap people for selling
quote-unquote pornography.
Or dirty stories.
Yeah.
He would, well, anyways, that's another
podcast.
Norton made quite a bit of money. I think the last figure I saw, and granted, the biography that is our main source, what is this called again?
Motherfucker, you sent us the book.
I know. I don't have the title on it.
Norton I, Emperor of the United States.
Yeah.
Norton I, Emperor of the United States.
Yeah, that is
right.
Okay, yeah. Norton I, Emperor of the United States by William Drury, 1986. This is basically considered the definitive biography on
Written in
Emperor
the golden
Norton.
age of gold rush literature.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
the
golden age of humanity. We were all born then.
According to Tartarian lore. So he made his money in real estate speculation, and eventually it turned out that, as we all know, there was a huge Chinese immigrant population in San Francisco, and they're still there to this day
back
in
when you
Chinatown.
could call them Orientals.
Yeah.
Big Trouble
I
in
believe
China.
they called them Celestials back then.
Celestials.
Yeah. Which is a cool fucking name, but I'm sure there's very many negative connotations
probably,
to it.
You don't want to say Celestial now.
You can't say it now. You can't say Oriental now. Oriental, I guess, was later. Yeah, that was like the 40s.
Like, I would love to
40s
be
and
called
plus.
like a intergalactivist, but, you know, that's not gonna...
It's not gonna work. I would never call you an intergalactivist.
That's what I call myself.
In the bathroom, in the shower. Is that
who's this prick when he's at home?
Yeah.
There was a huge, Chinese immigrant population, predominantly railroad laborers, and of course, as we mentioned earlier, there were, the criminal elements, but they were just catering to a market that was already there. So
it's always going to be a criminal element.
Yeah, and there was tons of fucking just vitriolic racism between the white folks, and like we said earlier, the phrase "hooking immigrants," like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that we brought over here, and then once they're used to us.
Yeah.
Expired.
Yep. They were.
But then they had that opium hookup.
Yeah.
And then they were actually pretty
just like
cool.
in Deadwood. Yeah.
Just like in Deadwood, you get the fucking
sort of a pre-cartel or cartel precursor to a degree. I guess you could say.
They were. I mean, the
tongs, etc. But actually, the tongs were started to protect the Chinese laborers.
Technically,
and
they were just subs for the English because the English in the Opium War was a little around. Was that around that time?
Yeah, that was
about that time.
Pretty close to this time.
So the English were actually, you know what? This isn't a history. I mean, technically, I guess we are listed as a history podcast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
History's a big part of it. I mean, that's why I mentioned all this random extra shit because this is such a weird time. It's a fascinating era.
I'm not making it up. It happened.
Yeah. Consult the almanac. There was a rice shortage in China, and this is history.
Now we're going into Norton's downfall here.
Yeah. So Norton, this is how he lost all his money. He thought that he could corner the rice market by basically having it imported from Peru, I believe it was, and he was basically
because Norton had a rice mill in San Francisco where he would process rice.
Yeah.
But he found out about this is the part I do remember. He found out about this boat coming in.
Yeah, some inside trading deals basically would be the equivalent.
But he
today.
won that inside because
they
five boats behind that one full.
They told other people. I think rice was selling at 4 cents a bag or a pound. And then he had projected under his calculations, according to the insider trading, that it would go up to 12 cents. But when he saw 5 ships full of tons of rice come in, it basically went down to 3 cents a pound.
The market was flooded.
And that is how you end up with rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat.
True.
Hey,
And
I didn't even make that connection. But that's right.
That's the first thing I thought of.
this is where he lost the vast majority of his money, but he tried to turn around and sue the people who gave him this sort of inside track information.
Rice-a-roni, send us money.
Yeah, you toast up the vermicelli.
What? Isn't that
you toast it in the pan first.
Yeah, you got to toast it.
Yeah, it's a mixture of rice and pasta, you see.
Yeah, you got to toast it. Then you add the water, and then it cooks.
Yeah, and you get
hamburger
that nutty,
helper.
Nice nutty, and then the textures are very good.
You toast, and then you get the nutty.
Okay. Rice. It's what's for dinner. So he took the remainder of his money after basically being swindled, and he tried to sue these guys who gave him the inside track information, and basically ended up getting tied into litigation for however long it took, and it cost him the rest of his fortune. And this is about when he was supposedly to have had his mental break, though I question whether there was ever a mental break to begin with, but we'll come to that later.
Yeah, I have some notes on that.
Yeah. So that was about 1849. This all happened within roughly a year of him coming into America. I was going to put in something about his twin brother, Arsenio Hall, but I couldn't formulate it fast enough. So
I have a quick theory.
Mm-hmm.
Drugs. Probably use drugs. I mean, cocaine.
Yeah.
You could get cocaine, opium, laudanum, all in one big cocktail with alcohol.
Yeah.
Over the counter. Not even over. God.
Well, I mean,
and your grandson into the pharmacy around the corner.
That's how Sherlock Holmes did it. He got a neighborhood kid to go get him his cocaine.
You could literally get a liquid speedball shot, a bottle of liquid speedball shots at everywhere sold it.
See, we
and
do
you just
know
have a little sip, have a little good time, and then your brain.
They even had babies on that shit. It's like give them one drop if they're one, give them 2 drops
if they're crying
well,
because they're teething, give them a little bit of the old cocaine opium cocktail.
We do know from historical records that Norton barely ever touched a drop of alcohol.
Yeah,
he would limit himself to 1 drink a day.
But
with food
limit, he had them. But
that's because he
we'll
was
see, and
on the other
also
shit.
looking at,
I think that's the thing. I will just speak from experience. When I was on opiates, I did not like alcohol. I didn't drink. I did not. You don't drink that much when you're on opiates.
Or on heavy stimulants, you don't really. At least I didn't.
We'll see. Also, going from Deadwood and what I do know of like the drug trade at this time and early opium markets, most people in a
was the height
town,
of the opium market.
Well, yeah, most people in a place like San Francisco, where you have local characters and everyone kind of knows each other. If you were considered a junkie or a drug addict,
but everybody was on it. Nobody called you out on it because everybody
that's true.
Was
it just depended on how you got it.
And then also, get it from the store.
Yeah,
you just go to the store and get it.
If you were going to an opium den,
a Celestial,
you didn't want to be caught consorting with a Celestial.
Yeah, if you're not laid up, that's the thing. If you're not laid up in the opium den like smoking from a pipe, but if you just go to the white guy that got it from the Asian guy that mixed it with some. Some 100 proof alcohol and then threw some cocaine in it and then fucking to keep you awake
just to take the edge off.
Just take the edge off, you know?
Just to be able to
This is my
deal with
theory.
another goddamn day of life.
I think this dude was on drugs. Like,
yeah, it's a distinct possibility.
I think everybody was on drugs, alcohol.
Yeah.
It was just different back then, and it was accepted, so people didn't mention it as much.
I mean, it's the same as today. Everyone's on something.
Unless you're laid. Oh, yeah, they absolutely are. Jesus Christ.
But, yeah, that's where most of the racism towards the Chinese came from, because there was a whole, like, moral panic of, like, our white women are smoking opium, and they're gonna get banged by fucking savages, blah, blah. The whole yellow peril thing started around this time. So, yeah.
Yeah, but then when it was a white guy selling his snake oil,
yeah,
it was very acceptable.
Didn't matter. Once again, fucking immigrants. So yeah, that was the prevailing thought process at the time as far as that's concerned. But yeah, what's weird is that most of this all took place in the year 1849, and then there's a 10-year period.
So this is pre-Civil War.
Where, yeah, because they were getting newspaper updates about what's going on.
Civil War is 1860?
Yeah,
I believe so, yes.
65.
Yeah.
Is it 66?
61 to 65, yeah.
Okay, it was 61 to 65.
Even though there's nothing civil about war.
Did you just quote the Guns N' Roses Civil War song?
What's so civil about war?
Yeah.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
I was going from an old Rocky and Bullwinkle episode I saw as a kid.
Is failure to communicate.
There's something wrong with your medulla oblongata, Colonel Sanders.
They added that into the that was a good.
So yeah, there's a 10-year period where virtually nothing is known about him, and this is why a lot of people think that this is the meltdown, the mental break theory of what happened with him. But 1859 comes along, a whole decade later, and this is where he issues his first proclamation as the official Emperor of the United States, Norton I. Recorded almost a decade later, and it goes something like this. At the peremptory request of a large majority of the citizens of the United States, I, Joshua Norton, formerly of Algoa Bay, Cape of Good Hope, and now for the past 9 years and 10 months of San Francisco, California, declare and proclaim myself Emperor of these United States, and in virtue of the authority thereby in me vested, do hereby order and direct the representatives of the different states of the Union to assemble in the musical hall of this city on the first day of February next, then and there to make such alterations in the existing laws of the Union as may ameliorate the evils under which this country is laboring, and thereby cause confidence to exist both at home and abroad in our stability and integrity. Now, do those sound like the ramblings of a madman? I ask you.
You know, I thought that he was
September
mad
1859.
I personally thought that he was mad at first when I first started getting into the story and into this book.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm not so sure.
I mean,
Alex Jones has been right once or twice. Okay.
A broken clock is right 6 times a day.
Blind pig.
It's
acorn every once in a while.
Yeah, and every now and then the frogs are fucking gay.
Obama and George Soros turning the bees gay. Been theorized, I guess, by Spencer, I know definitely, that he may have been schizophrenic. It's theorized in this book as well, but keeping in mind that mental health was still a fucking quagmire of a mystery.
Yeah,
it's the lack of language for mental health issues back then.
Yeah,
schizophrenia is still considered kind of a catch-all term, a blanket term.
Just, it's like if someone wasn't congruent with the rest of the city, they were just
a nonconformist.
They were just outskirted,
Well, but I really don't, because most.
But it didn't say, oh, he's got.
I have been institutionalized with a lot of fucking schizophrenics, and most of them are fucking completely like everyone wants to get them the fuck out. This guy, people liked him, so I really don't. I don't know.
That's why I changed my.
I wouldn't say his diagnosis. I would not say schizophrenia because I have not been around a schizophrenic that
I'm
you
into more like
tolerate.
Bipolar.
Bipolar is closer probably to anything. I don't know all the levels because there's two.
Oh, there's 1 and 2. 2 is like depression light. 1 is where you hallucinate.
Yeah. So he might have been bipolar 1 or something. It just armchair historical fucking.
Delusions of grandeur.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
which also happens when you're on cocaine.
Also,
yeah.
maybe
You're me. I know we just met, but we're gonna open a sporting goods store.
maybe my theory is closer to
I'm gonna go take another shit.
I think he was just on fucking. No, well, I mean, he could have been taking shit, but he had the opium that keeps you just regular.
Yeah.
If you do the cocaine with the fucking laudanum, you're balanced.
Oh,
right out.
and
God,
fucking
bad
diarrhea was rampant all throughout the
Everybody.
18th and 19th century. Everybody had it all the
Rivers
time.
Of liquid shit.
Oh yeah.
Damn, yeah.
Begetting other liquids, rivers of shit.
But no, I really don't think he was schizophrenic. Because schizophrenic,
No, yeah.
schizophrenic people are not likable. They're not
I've
likable.
heard
They can be. I mean,
I've not met one that is likable at
well,
all.
because you're coming from a fucking jail standpoint.
But I've been way more schizophrenic than at least you. Spencer's been at the homeless shelter. He's been around more schizophrenic.
I've been at the booby hatch a couple dozen
And he's
times,
been
too.
at the booby hatch. So he's been around a lot, but they're generally not likable people.
No, at
Through
best,
my-
they're abrasive and hard to be
At
around.
best.
Yeah.
I'm not
They're
going to get
not-
into a who
they're
knows
not
the most
provoked.
schizophrenics pissing contest, but I've been in a drug rehabilitation program for quite a while, and I've met some interesting people through it,
Yeah,
I'll
but
say that
they're
much.
not. If you really spend
People
time with
find them difficult to deal with.
them, they are difficult to deal with. This guy, people liked
If
him.
they're not taking their
People
medications.
liked the god. This guy was not medicated. Well, actually, he probably was medicated on cocaine and laudanum.
Yeah.
But people liked this guy. That was the only thing that gave me redemption for this man, is not thinking about him as just some fucking
You
bum.
know, I think he's a good guy.
Yeah,
I think he was a good guy because people liked him.
I view him more in the
Doggone
Don
it, people
Quixote.
Doggone it, people liked him.
I view him more in the Don Quixote sort of, and I almost think he was doing a satirical character, keeping in mind that this is the era of Mark Twain and Ambrose Bierce, both cynical, satirical, fucking top writers of their time. Everyone loved them. They were the comedy geniuses of their time.
But they were
so I
sensitive,
think,
too.
But
Well,
it could
yeah.
be, but everybody can't hold character all the time, so people saw him out of character.
oh yeah.
And
That's
they-
what we were saying
But
about
he
like
still had friends.
he'd talk about everything and anything and everything under the sun, and he was knowledgeable in all these subjects. But when it came to talking about his own past, specifically these 10 mysterious years after his financial downfall, basically, not so much.
No, those 10 years, he found him a nice little lady for a minute, and they went off on a opium cocaine binge and had a moment, and then he came back. He had a moment with a woman. I think the 10 years is, I am just speculating here, but I think opium cocaine addict who also spent those 10 years with a woman. Because
he actually did
you
get.
can lose some years with a woman real quick.
He was issuing all of his proclamations through the, I believe it was called the Bulletin, San Francisco Bulletin newspaper. I may have the title wrong on that. But people were saying, like, oh, okay, well, we can send him telegrams. And there were people sending him, like, hoax telegrams as Queen Victoria and Tsar Alexander and all these other royals from out of the United States. Like, it's like, hey, keep up the good work. Or the one from Queen Victoria was like, maybe we should get together and have some drinks, etc. But he eventually issued a decree in sort of response to these quote-unquote offers from other royals to, you know how those
Like
people
those
do.
Queen of
people were
France
actually- it was
to
just actually
strengthen
nutties.
The
Yeah,
relationship
yeah.
between...
Well, there were people fucking with him,
It was
basically.
trolls.
Yeah.
He was getting old school trolls.
Yeah, and a lot of his proclamations weren't fucking written by him.
Yeah, there was a lot of... because
He
they
was used
sold
as like a
newspapers.
fucking
They
stooge.
sold papers.
Yeah. He was kind of the first... I hesitate to put him in this category.
Budweiser frogs?
Sort of. Like a marketing kind of character
A
meets
political,
like a Kardashian reality TV, like famous for
puppet.
being famous.
He was used as a puppet against his knowledge.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, he didn't
What he
know
did-
when these edicts were
It
coming
only
out.
kind of reminds me of do y'all remember what was the Jewish cowboy that was in Texas?
Kinky Friedman?
Kiki Friedman.
Yeah.
It just kind of makes me think vaguely of him, just because he popped in the news and
Yeah.
he
was a satirist.
He was a
and-
satirist. He fucking was political, but he was also silly.
Yeah.
He was silly.
Sort of an op-ed type.
And
Fanciful.
Fan-
Flights of
and
and
fancy.
what's that other guy
Dave's
that
World.
wore the hat?
Abraham Lincoln?
Also kinky.
No, the wizard guy.
Merlin? Joe Kennedy?
The,
Julius LaRosa.
The rat? Why was it? Vermin! Vermin
Oh,
Supreme.
yeah.
Vermin Supreme.
Yes, that's another.
I wasn't
Okay,
even
yeah.
thinking this decade, this era. Yeah.
No, I'm trying to relate it to modern times. Vermin Supreme, like
Okay, good. I can put this long list of people through history have wore hats down.
Good one.
No, yeah, he actually issued a decree that was like, it was basically, I don't have the specific decree within this group, but he was like, look, ladies, I'm just gonna let y'all sort it out. Y'all decide which one of you is gonna marry me, because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. I ain't trying to catch feelings, etc., etc. So that was his response to that.
His own best life.
Yeah. But at the same time, he knew that as royalty, quote unquote, there's certain ways of doing things.
It's pop marriage is politics when it comes to royalty.
Oh yeah, keep the fucking in the family. I believe that's the European royals.
I'm updating my theory. He was with a celestial
All right.
Maybe. I don't know.
Also, dude, Chinaman is not the preferred nomenclature.
I very much doubt he spent time in opium dens, but he was also
No, he didn't have the opium dens. He had a celestial woman. He didn't have to go to the dens.
Well, he was a bit of a freedom fighter for Chinese immigrants' rights. There was actually an incident.
Yeah, with
and this is one of my favorite stories
You're
about
reinforcing
him.
my theory right now.
This is one of my favorite stories about him, and it kind of encapsulates his sort of non-violent Bugs Bunny path of least resistance way of dealing with shit. But there was a trickster figure to a degree. He was, there was a huge demonstration against Chinese immigrant laborers for the railroads,
led by Kearney.
Yeah.
Dennis Kearney,
some Irish asshole.
Dennis Kearney.
And they were getting
Kearney
together.
Was actually half Native American.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Man,
He
I was
took
told
the
I
Irish
was
name,
part
and he
Native
went totally
American, too.
anti-Asian. Yeah.
There was a lot of anti-Chinese immigrant sentiment, and this Kearney fella was whipping up a mob into a lather. They were about to go perform some vigilante action.
And he had led lots of
it wasn't
hangings,
the first time.
lynchings,
bad
riot
shit.
Justice.
Yeah, Norton saw this occurring. He saw them marching towards Chinatown, and he ran out in front of the violent mob and stopped them in their tracks, got down on his knees, and recited the Lord's Prayer. Now, say what you will about prayer. Whatever.
God save me now!
But basically what he did through this action was he fucking just made everyone feel so ashamed of what they were doing and their intentions that they were like...
Yeah, they realized what they were doing was not Christ-like in any way, shape, or form.
They looked inside and realized they were monsters and fucking turned around and went home. Called it a day. How's that mic taste? So, one of his next more popular decrees, and one that I kind of hope holds still to this day, is his abolishing of the U.S. Congress. And it goes something like this.
Like the kid, here go.
It is represented to us that the universal suffrage, as now existing through the Union, is abused. That fraud and corruption prevent a fair and proper expression of the public voice. That open violation of the laws are constantly occurring, caused by mobs, parties, factions, and undue influence of political sects. That the citizen has not that protection of person and property which he is entitled to by paying his pro rata of the expense of government. That means taxes. In consequence of which, we do hereby abolish Congress, and it is therefore abolished. And we order and desire the representatives of all parties interested to appear at the musical hall of this city on the 1st of February next, and then and there take the most effective steps to remedy the evil complained of. October 1859.
I mean, everybody probably agree with that, because fuck the goddamn government. The fucking the government has been a thing since there was a government.
Yeah.
Like, everybody hates paying taxes. It was fuck the king, fuck the government.
Eat the rich.
Eat the rich.
This time especially, because like we said, there was robber barons. This was the first captains of industry, and the banks. This is why outlaw heroes existed in this time, because anyone who robbed a bank and didn't kill anyone was a fucking hero. So,
Man,
and even if you killed some people,
I wish I could have existed in this time.
God,
period.
it was so easy to
except
be a
for the
criminal
toilet
these days.
part. I like running water and
Yeah, lack of decent toilet paper.
yeah, toilet. What's a toilet paper? What did they do? They just fucking shook it off, I guess. And
I thought they used like
a
corn
stick.
cobs.
There's a stick.
My grandma said she used to have to use a corn cob.
The business end of the stick. That's where that term
your
comes
grandma's
from.
The shit into the stick.
Your
Yeah.
grandma.
She rode a horse to school.
So did my
elementary
grandma.
school. Yeah. Well,
Walked
corn cob,
uphill in the snow.
ask your
both
grandma
ways.
what she did in the shitter.
I will not ask my grandma what she did in the shitter.
Who
Thank
was
you.
it like pooping back then? He had a follow-up to the abolishing of Congress, which said, whereas a body of men calling themselves the National Congress are now in session in Washington City, so basically they did not heed his proclamation, in violation of our imperial edict of the 12th of October last, declaring the said Congress abolished, whereas it is necessary for the repose of our empire that the said decree should be strictly complied with. Now, therefore, we do hereby order and direct Major General Scott, the command-in-chief of our armies, immediately upon receipt of this our decree, to proceed with a suitable force and clear the halls of Congress. January 1860. So basically, he was calling on the army to fucking go into Washington, D.C. and fucking clean house.
Take out the trash.
Yeah.
Empty the swamp.
Yeah. Drain the swamp. Let's see.
Trump. I'm joking.
Fed. Let's see. Not long after that, he sends out a decree that establishes his absolute monarchy in replacement of the old government, and it goes.
Can I read that one?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to hog everything.
No, it's okay.
I don't mean to be
hog.
a proclamation hog.
Goddamn fucking hog.
Whereas it is necessary for our peace, prosperity, and happiness, as also to the national advancement of the people of the United States, that they should dissolve the republican form of government and establish in its stead an absolute monarchy. Now, therefore, we, Norton the First, by the grace of God, Emperor of the 33 states and the multitude of territories of the United States of America, do hereby dissolve the Republic of the United States, and it is hereby dissolved.
Doesn't exist.
Fuck that
Just
shit.
like that, alakazam.
Just like that.
And all laws made from and after this date, either by the National Congress or any state legislature, shall be null and of no effect. All governors and all other persons in authority shall maintain order by enforcing the heretofore existing laws and regulations until the necessary alterations can be effected. Given under our hand and seal at headquarters, San Francisco, this 26th day of July, 1860.
The public officials have again notoriously betrayed the confidence and trust imposed in them by a trusting people, and having shamefully disregarded the public interest and the people's welfare to feather their own nests. Now, therefore, we, Norton the First, Emperor of America and Protector of Mexico. I really like the Protector of Mexico part. That's fun. Do hereby order all such officials to resign forthwith and do declare their said offices vacant from the date hereof, 1872.
Yeah, he added the Protector of Mexico title to his name when Napoleon III instituted, I believe it was Maximilian.
I did not even know until I skimmed this that Napoleon invaded Mexico.
Yeah,
Yep.
I thought I knew some war history.
That's where they learn how to make bolillos.
I did not.
No, that's true, actually.
No, that is. I did not know until. That's the thing. That's why I like doing this podcast. I love doing this podcast because I get to research and find stupid fucking facts from fucking history that nobody will ever care about, but I do.
Yeah,
It's fascinating.
It's fucking fascinating. It's
yeah,
great.
he instituted Maximilian as a sort of puppet dictator, and that's when he added the Protector of Mexico title, which he eventually rescinded very quickly because he was like, he basically came out and said, "There's just no fucking way that a country that fucked up." I mean, it's not far off from how things are today.
Times have not changed.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just one man. What am I supposed to do?
What am I gonna do with
History
Mexico?
is cyclical, people.
Yeah. Let's see. He ended up eventually banning the word Frisco in a decree.
He really didn't like that Frisco
He
thing.
did not. In a proclamation that went, "Whoever, after due and proper warning, shall be heard to utter the abominable word Frisco, which has no linguistic or other warrant, shall be deemed guilty of a high misdemeanor, and shall pay into the imperial treasury as penalty the sum of $25. 1872.
1872, $25.
Yeah, it's a pretty fucking
That's
hefty
what,
fine.
like a couple of hundreds, if not more.
I would, you know what? I think $25 back then
Hang on.
is roughly like $300 now, somewhere in that area. Yeah, he also was, like we said earlier.
It's equivalent to $640
Holy
today.
shit. Just for saying Frisco. Other than brilliant ideas such as abolishing the Congress and the United States in general, and proposing a League of Nations way ahead of its time, he was also the first to propose the idea of building not only an Oakland Bay Bridge, but the tunnel as well. And to this day...
It wasn't a tunnel, it was a cut through. The river was winding, and he made a straight line like a dollar sign.
And now, on the Oakland Bay Bridge, there is a plaque dedicated to his memory, being the first to suggest this idea. It says, "Pause, traveler, and be grateful to Norton the First, Emperor of the United States, Protector of Mexico, 1859 to 80, whose prophetic wisdom conceived and decreed the bridging of San Francisco Bay."
And they got the two dogs on there, Bummer and fucking
August
Fuck-ass or
18th,
whatever.
Lazarus.
1869.
Jesus.
We can't get into the stories of Bummer and Lazarus with a dog hater here, because
Fuck them dogs, man.
also their story, it makes me tear up a little bit. I mean,
It's so goddamn cute.
it's just
sweet. Especially Lazarus.
Which
I
one
mean,
got which one got stomped to death?
I have something above my eyes.
Lazarus,
Lazarus got stomped to death.
Well, no, Bummer got kicked by a bum down some stairs, and supposedly that was what led to his death. But
sounds like Bummer was an asshole.
That was how he died. But
no,
Lazarus,
Bummer was the good boy. Lazarus was kind of an asshole. They were a real odd couple
But Lazarus came back from the dead, hence the name Lazarus.
because of Bummer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lazarus got attacked by a much larger and much more ferocious dog. Bummer, his buddy, jumped in, and as Lazarus was healing, Bummer would basically gather scraps and food from around the town and come and
And he'd
feed,
sleep by him to
and
keep
come
him
feed
warm.
Lazarus. They were good boys.
I do kind of like
Don't you have a
dogs a
heart?
little bit. I
Critter.
R.I.P. Critter.
This was a time also when, yes, there were packs of wild dogs roaming the streets, and they were poisoning and killing them left
Yeah,
and
'cause
right.
Dogs are fucking annoying.
Unless they could kill rats. And there are many legends about Bummer and Lazarus, the unofficial companions of Emperor Norton, though that's largely the creation of a cartoonist named Edward Jump at the
He
time.
actually didn't care for those dogs.
Well, they hung out at the same restaurants.
Yeah. His
They
opinion
were all
of them,
bums.
Yeah.
He kind of saw them not so favorably. He didn't really like them that much, but they got
He
they
barked.
got
They
glommed on
barked.
him.
Fucking, it was a thing.
Yeah, the reason they were all conflated together is because of the newspapers. It was the cartoonists, and specifically at this time, the reason there were also so many stories about characters that, like all we mentioned before, Emperor Norton, Oofty Goofty, the Great Unknown, the Pain King,
The King of Pain.
yeah, our King of Pain, Bummer and Lazarus, was because you
Hard
could
Kick
see
Fredo.
these people and what they were getting up to whilst drinking on
Jimmy
the
Two
bar
Plates.
patio. So that's all these fucking newspaper writers would do all day, was just fucking like, oh, I gotta come up with a story.
Yeah, it was a lull in the news cycle at
Yeah.
that time, you know.
Yeah. They should go back to this
What a fucking
system.
time to be alive.
Way easier to be a criminal.
It would have
That's
been
for certain.
great for me.
I
One
would
of
have done
the-
good at this time. I would have done good.
Me too, I think. I would have, I mean,
would've
knowing
been a
what I know
blacksmith
now, at
and
least.
named Doc Brown and
I would have figured out how to make fentanyl back then and put the opium dealers out of
We
business.
call it heroin because it's like putting the hero in your body. Yeah, there's one more story about Emperor Norton that I loved, and this kind of also encapsulates his whimsy and sort of Don Quixote-esque dreaming the impossible dream. But not only was he beloved by the entire city of San Francisco, much like Bummer and Lazarus as well. Anytime people like wronged any of them, the whole city lost their shit. There was a rookie police officer who, anytime tourists didn't know who Norton was and arrested him for vagrancy, and the whole fucking town was like, hey, dickhead, let him out.
Yeah,
So the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah,
that's right. He tried to have him
I do want to
committed.
know what happened to the fucking asshole that kicked the dog to death.
He had the shit kicked out of him.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good,
they almost
Because
lynched him.
On the cool, I don't like dogs, but I do not promote kicking one to death.
Any violence towards animals. fuck
Yeah,
that.
you're a piece of shit. Piece of shit's a piece of shit. I don't like dogs, but I'm not gonna beat one to death. I'm not gonna beat one, period. I'm just gonna tell them, get the fuck away from me.
Shit is as shit does, my friend.
But if I come to your house, get your fucking dog and put it in the fucking bathroom or the backyard, okay?
Just
Thank you.
Just a little discipline. That's all.
Yeah, a little discipline. A little pop on the nose.
So yeah, other than being beloved by his many loyal royal subjects, would come to town. This was the first guy that they were looking for, Emperor Norton, and
he had merch.
oh yeah. He issued his own money. I totally forgot about that.
He had money, but there was also Emperor Norton dolls. There was postcards.
That's right.
Yeah, there was all kinds of stuff.
And we'll touch on the money again in a second. And it wasn't just tourists, but children loved him as well. And one of the reasons that both these crowds loved him so much was because he was known to confer the honorary title of King for a Day on numerous children and tourists. So he basically kind of took his gift that he got himself, that he created for himself, and was bestowed upon him by the loving people of San Francisco, and he shared it with everyone whenever he could. Final note and closing statement on Emperor Norton. Years later, he was declared an honorary saint of the Discordian movement. For those unfamiliar, the Discordians are essentially the anti-Illuminati. They're called the Discordians as they essentially are worshippers of the Greek goddess Ares, the goddess of chaos. So they're like fun-loving tricksters. Arguably a joke disguised as a religion, disguised as a joke, or vice versa, whichever you prefer. He was considered a living symbol that personified an integral concept. That the power we've all invested in our quote-unquote rulers and money, which, by the way, his Emperor Norton bucks are now worth $15,000 as collector's items.
I saw that. I really kind of...
That the power we have all invested in our rulers, quote-unquote, is just an agreed-upon illusion, a lie, a fiction, made real by our collective belief and consent. Norton had a far greater quantity and quality of both the love and support of his loyal subjects, and his Discordian sainthood is largely due to the fact that his story illustrates two great eternal truisms. Order is an illusion, and authority is a delusion. And that's
until that Billy Club smacks your ass.
Well, Philip K. Dick also said, reality is that which does not go away even if you don't believe in it, so...
Reality is a ride on a bus. That's enough for you.
So yeah, that's going to be today's and the week's episode. We're coming back next week. If you thought today was anything close to a hate fest, holy shit! Next week,
I honestly, I kept my hate too because
he's coming around.
I'm a little bit of hater. I'm trying to be more neutral these days. You know what? Don't ask me for $1 and don't let your fucking dog sniff me. I don't fucking want it. I don't. I'm not gonna smack it, but I will tell you, fucking get your fucking dog away from me. And also, if you're a bum and you're asking me for $1, get the fuck away from me.
By the way, feel free to donate to our Patreon.
Yeah, if anybody got $1.
No, our Spotify account, like we said, it all goes back into the show.
You know what? If a bum walked up to me at 7-Eleven and is like, yo,
I'm gonna do a podcast for you.
Like, I'm gonna do a podcast for you.
Like, shit, yeah.
I would be like, okay, and you would get $1. That's the thing. Every bum that's ever just come like, I need 50 cents. I gotta get the bus to fucking Albuquerque by fucking noon. And I took that
wrong left turn.
But I only need.
See what had happened.
I only need $17.37 to get this bus ticket.
And that's how you know it's the truth.
Yeah, exactly, because it's specific.
No, yeah, we'll take any donations anyone's willing to give. It all goes into the show. Like we said, we would like to get some live shows together for our grassroots peeps here in the DFW area.
D-Town, we're gonna work that out. Soon.
Yeah, we're getting a spectacular together.
Spectacular.
What else? Yeah, next week is gonna be a fucking total hate fest. We're covering a man who's so full of shit that he makes John Wayne's colon look like a ghost town. I can't wait to fucking tear this guy apart.
I'm gonna find something good with him.
Contrarian Wellesley over here.
Yeah.
Contrarian Sharkbait Wellesley.
That's going to be it for us tonight. This is Kooks, Cranks, and Iconoclast. I'm your host, Mike Lucht, and my co-host,
Spencer Lowry.
Christopher Wells, love you people. Catch us on kooksandcranks@gmail.com and also on all the things, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, we're Kooks, Cranks, and Iconoclast on those things. And we have to, I have to work on that. I almost did it this week, but I didn't. And then
Don't look for us on Truth Social.
What is that?
That's the Trump one.
That's the Trump.
That's the
social
Trump one.
media.
But I will be on some Twix though, because you can say anything you want on fucking Twix, and it's kind of fucking stupid. I love it. I love most of the horrible things I find in my life is fucking great, and I enjoy it on Twitter. Thank you, Elon. You fucking piece of shit.
Third generation Nazi techno futurist. I believe our Twix is Kooks_Cranks_Iconoclast. Yeah, we have an Instagram.
Like, make me do the thing on fucking like online.
Yeah.
You fuckers fucking tell me to fucking.
So yeah, check it out. Give till it hurts, and we will be back next week with some highfalutin fantasy horse shit. It's gonna be hilarious. Love you, folks. See you next time.
Spectacular.